At Nebraska, the collective mood of the entire state hinges on the success or failure of its football team. The Huskers' unending support is legendary. But these are difficult times for the Big Red faithful. A season marked by a porous defense and 2 blowout losses has Husker Nation in a foul mood. The opponent today, Oklahoma State, a team that's also suffered from a deficiency of defense. Count the Cowboys as a team that will be equally testy after blowing a 17-point lead in last week's loss at Texas A&M. 2 teams that desperately need a win. 2 teams that desperately seek much-needed momentum. It's a late morning October showdown in Lincoln. The Huskers and Cowboys are next on FSN Pay-Per-View.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys have traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska in search of a rare road victory. They'll take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers back home, smarting from a late-night Saturday night loss to the Missouri Tigers. Welcome to a homecoming day in Lincoln, Nebraska. Another sellout crowd expected to watch the Cornhuskers and the Cowboys battle in a big mid-season matchup for these 2 programs. Good morning, I'm Greg Sharp, along with NFL and college football Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow, and also a Missouri Tiger grad. We will allow you 1 Missouri Tiger reference today, so make it good, Kellen. But these 2 teams are really struggling defensively, as we mentioned in the open. They're 11th and 12th in the conference and really looking for some answers.
I can't remember the last time when you talked about the Nebraska, you talked about being last in the conference in defense. But the black shirts, the vaulted black shirts, I should say, are struggling big time. The ranking is ridiculous, and we'll talk about why I think so a little bit later. Then you talk about the speed of element and the concept. Teams are just coming back to score. When you talk about Oklahoma State, number 11, they had a 17-point lead going into last week's game against Texas A&M and lost that, ended up losing the game 24-23. They're a blown assignment. You're going to see that a lot with a lot of young defensive coordinators, which Tim Beckman is. Last year, Greg, he was on the sideline as a defensive back coach for the Ohio State. Huge learning curve to step up here in the Big 12 and be the guy making the calls. Kevin Cosgrove is kind of hard to figure out. He's been around for a while. He's been a D coordinator. He knows these players. He knows them quite well. Is it speed or is it concept? We need to find out today.
Now, on the other side of the ball, the picture's rosier for both teams. They have some weapons, starting with Nebraska and their quarterback, Sam Keller.
Big Sam Keller, the 6'4", 230-pound senior out of California. He can make all the throws. I like the way I see in Sam Keller. I like the way he moves. Any criticism? You don't take enough shots downfield. That could be the play calling and his read sequence. I'm going to find out today, my first time seeing him live in the action where you can see the whole thing. Darius Bowman, hey, Terrell Owens, who's come to mind when I saw him warming up. Man, the same body structure. He's a North Carolina transfer, came in here last year, gave Oklahoma State a big swing. He's a senior. Next year, he'll be playing on Sunday.
No doubt he is a star waiting to happen. It's the Cowboys and the Huskers. When we come back, we'll welcome both teams to the field and kick this one off. It's Nebraska at OSU in a key Big 12 matchup next on FSN. Overcast day here in Lincoln for Nebraska and Oklahoma State. A late morning start for these 2 teams and what is a key game for both schools in their 2007 campaigns. Well, one of the great traditions in college sports is the tunnel walk for the Huskers, who are about ready to burst out onto the field here today as Nebraska trying to right the ship after a very rocky trip to Columbia last Saturday night to take on the Missouri Tigers, who now are up near the top 10 in college football. The 97 Huskers being back tonight, the 10th anniversary. The legendary Tom Osborne in attendance today. As you can see, the Huskers making their way out of their locker room, and we're just going to let you listen in and watch as Nebraska takes the field here on a Big 12 Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, here come the Huskers! time to introduce you to our third member of our broadcast crew here today. Let's call in Joel Goldberg.
Well, Greg, thank you very much. As you can see, still a lot of energy and excitement here at the stadium, but it's been a rough year for the Cornhuskers and Bill Callahan. 2 embarrassing losses on national television, and the head coach having to answer a lot of questions about the fire of his team. The locals are getting restless. As for Oklahoma State, a couple of bad losses as well to Troy and blowing a 17-point lead last week. And on September 22nd, the worst moment for head coach Mike Gundy as he lashed out at an Oklahoma columnist, and that one did not go well for him. It's been all over the internet since, and he's taken a lot of criticism for that. A chance today for both schools to rebound a little bit. A must-win for Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy, and for Bill Callahan and Nebraska. Guys.
All right, Joe, which makes for such an intriguing matchup because it is one of those crossroad games for the 2 programs. Which way's your season going to go? And I think that's what we have at stake here today.
Indeed we do. It will be difficult for the losing team to recover and have a legitimate chance to win the division. And they've got to have this football game, especially Nebraska playing at home. A lot of pressure on Bill Callahan and that entire coaching staff.
Nebraska will get the football to start this game. Oklahoma State will be kicking off and defending the south goal here in Lincoln. In a homecoming crowd, Nebraska has been terrific down through the years. In homecoming games, they've won 37 of their last 38 homecoming contests. Both teams 1-1 in league play. OSU had a terrific chance to get to 2-0 last week when they built that 17-0 halftime lead at A&M, but could not hang on in the second half. There's a look at your series record. It's been dominated by Nebraska, only 4 Cowboy wins. But Oklahoma State holds a 2-1 advantage in this decade. Here's the kickoff, headed toward Courtney Grigsby, who gathers it in at the 10. Grigsby slips down, the ball pops out. Nebraska able to jump on the loose football at about the 17-yard line as Corey McEwen, Johnny on the spot to save that, which would have been a disastrous turnover for Nebraska to start this game.
Not the way you want to start a football game with a fumble and a turnover, losing yardage. It's just bad karma for the entire stadium.
Sam Keller, the senior transfer, started his college football career at Arizona State, will lead Nebraska. He has completed 64% of his passes so far this year, but not as good a touchdown to interception ratio as you would like, with 9 touchdown tosses, 8 picks. He rolls the pocket this on first down on the near side and throws behind Todd Peterson. It'll be 2nd and 10. Keller has had some stellar games. Had a huge game, in fact a school record setting game against Ball State a few weeks ago in a game that we brought to you here on FSN. But a guy who has come just for 1 season to finish out his college career after a good first 3 years at Arizona State. Lucky's the deep back for Nebraska on 2nd and 10. Lucky up the middle, gets about 5 on 2nd down. Patrick Levine makes the tackle. Nebraska up front. Nix, Hickman, Byford's the center, Huff, and Leiden Murtha. Now, Hickman has taken over for an injured Andy Christensen, who got hurt a couple of weeks ago. The skill position players, you already saw Marlon Lucky back there for the Huskers. A lot of different H-backs will get on the field for Nebraska, and they'll use an awful lot of wide receivers throughout the day for Bill Callahan's team. Play clock at 5 on this 3rd and 5 for Nebraska at their own 21. Keller in the shotgun. Over the middle. Drop. Nate Swift had it, dropped it, would have been a first down, and Kellen 3 and out here for Nebraska, and a good stop for Oklahoma State's defense.
Oklahoma State needs a good stop to get their rhythm back after what happened to them last week. But you take a look at the play here, coming down the field, Keller just looking at the same receiver come all the way through, just threw the ball behind him, did not lead him properly, but again, a catchable ball.
And Titchener. It's a punt for Nebraska. It is Dantrell Savage back deep for Oklahoma State. Titchener hits a good one. Gets to the turnover. Savage makes a catch and gets drilled. There'll be a flag. It'll be a penalty on Nebraska. They hit Savage while the ball was coming on. It was Ricky Thanars who was there to make the hit on Savage. This will give Oklahoma State excellent field position after a mental mistake by Nebraska.
Just 1 step too quickly on the return guy. A half a step slower, been a great play.
Kick catch interference. Number 3, Kicky T. 15-yard penalty. First down.
15-yard penalty here, Kelvin, on Nebraska.
Kind of bang, bang. You know, he was right there. Right there as the ball was coming down. I tell you, I thought it was a good play. It's kind of questionable. They were so close. Coach Callahan, the shocked look on his face, thought he had something good going.
Well, this will march the ball right up near midfield for Oklahoma State and the Cowboys, who have a dynamite offense. They're so balanced as they can both throw it and run it. With Zac Robinson now the trigger man for Oklahoma State, took over 3 games ago for Bobby Reed at quarterback. Young sophomore out of Littleton, Colorado. And it's 1st and 10 for OSU, just inside Nebraska territory. Savage the one back, a bunch set to the near side. Savage the handoff and gets a couple. Lance Brandenburg makes the big red tackle.
Robinson is a sophomore, big fellow, 6'3", 205-pounder. He is completing 57% of his passes. He can also run the ball. Very good runners. You see those numbers that he put up against Texas Tech a few weeks ago. Robinson in the shotgun on 2nd and 6. Has time. Wide open is Bowman. Slips a tackle. Cuts to the outside, an ankle tackle by Brandenburg, but not before the big OSU wide receiver gets a first down after a 14-yard pickup to the 32. You can't leave him that wide open.
You can't leave him that wide open. Good action, rolling it to the left, having him come back across. Watch Bowman as he comes down, he plants, he finds an empty spot, he makes the catch. Okay, great catch, good run, but now, young man, get upfield. Get upfield. Too much dancing. You got to turn and go north and south.
1st and 10. OSU inside the Husker 33. Tosted is the back in the backfield with Robinson in the shotgun. Plenty of time. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, nearly picked off. Brandenburg with a diving attempt, but somebody up front got a nice push for Nebraska. Zach Potter, one of the ends, fired through to get a deflected pass. Oklahoma State up front, pretty young up front, only one senior, and that's David Koenig. Andrew Lewis is the center, but a couple of sophomores and some juniors, so it's a young offensive line for Mike Gundy's Cowboys. Savage, a terrific running back, and Darius Bowman leads a pretty talented wide receiver corps. Keep an eye on Brandon Pettigrew, their tight end. He might be their best football player. It's 2nd and 10 Cowboys.
The tight end normally is the best football player, Greg, by the way.
Thought you might say that. Savage cutting back, eludes the tackler. Nice run by Savage. Usually that doesn't work with a back going one direction and cutting it back the other way, but it does that time for a gain of 9. Tier Green ushers him out of bounds.
And that's what we talked about in the opening. Is it concept or is it speed? On that play, it was speed. He had the back, cutting back to the other side. The defender was right there, but the back was able to get to the outside. That one step is the difference between having a good football team and having an average football team.
We've played just over 2 minutes. OSU with a 3rd and 1 at the Nebraska 24. Savage the eye back. They give it to the fullback, Crosslin, and it's going to be close. It's Potter in on the tackle for Nebraska. By the look of the line judge, this is going to be enough for a Cowboy first down. Nebraska defensively, nicknamed the Black Shirts, but they have not played up to that moniker so far this year under Kevin Cosgrove. Potter has played well from one of their defensive end spots for Nebraska. He kind of leads that group up front. Steinkuhler and Turner and Sue also expected to see some time up front of Shakri Barfield. Dillard has replaced McCune at one of the linebacker spots. That happened last week in the Missouri game. Robinson on a shotgun on 1st and 10. Guns the pass. The pass is caught by Bowman inside the 5, down around the 1-yard line.
Too easy. Entirely too easy. No pressure on the quarterback. But let me just take a couple of looks at these. Here from behind, the quarterback sets and throws. You see the offensive line make the switch. The guard came out to get the end on the outside. It was a great throw. Here on the isolation, you got to get in the big man's face. You can't let a guy that big run freely down the field. Come up, put some pressure on him, force him to the outside, use the sideline as a boundary.
1st and goal Cowboys. They hand it off to Crosslin, and he is near the goal line. No signal yet, and it's going to be 2nd down. So Nebraska has stopped Oklahoma State on 1st down from inside the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Cowboys.
Nice line surge on both sides of the football. I thought he got in myself. Just have to break the plane big fella's got to keep his feet moving and just kind of hump it over there.
Not sure where the ball was. It might have been.
He got tucked up under his body.
That one is a touchdown as Crosslin goes up and over the top. That is his 4th touchdown this year. He's their short yardage guy, and Oklahoma State punches one in early in this one in Lincoln.
Take a look at the replay. A good surge by the left side of the offensive line. Nice and easy over the top. You have the defensive lineman submarining underneath. Linebackers to take care of the top. They were not there to hit that hole. Good drive for Oklahoma State. Great drive.
Julius Crosslin with the scoring plunge for the Cowboys. And you're right, you saw that good mixture of run pass by Oklahoma State on this first drive. The point after try is up and good by Jason Ricks. And Oklahoma State leads 7-0. They score in their first possession of the game here in Lincoln after stopping Nebraska on a 3-and-out. $7-0 Oklahoma State. An impressive first drive. Again, after that personal foul penalty, they had to go just under 50 yards to score. And Kevin Cosgrove, who has been under fire in Lincoln lately, can't like Kellen how that started.
You can't start a game that way, especially when your team's been taking a great deal of heat about their defensive play, your defensive coordinator. Some people say could be on the bubble, and you're at home and you come out. This is not what this crowd wanted to see. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, wanted to come in here and take the crowd out of it. They're kind of quiet right now. I've been in Lincoln several times as a player and as a broadcaster. Right now it's just quiet. I've seen them in quite some time.
8-play, 50-yard drive for Oklahoma State, and Bill Callahan's Huskers now down 7-0 to this game.
And a good balance, passing and running the football. Oklahoma State, 237 yards passing per game, 237 or 34 yards rushing per game. That's great balance.
Officials having a discussion with Mike Gundy along the Oklahoma State sideline before we kick this one off here. Mike Gundy, 3rd year as Cowboy head coach. He's been looking for those elusive road victories and really thought they had one last week with that 17-0 lead at College Station, but could not hang on in the second half. This would be a big feather in his cap if he can bring his Cowboys into Lincoln today and get a win.
I think their road record is, what, 1-11 in conference play since he took over. And that's not what Oklahoma State fans expected when Les Miles left to go on to LSU. They want to see that winning tradition continue.
Won at Kansas a year ago. Came from behind in that game to win. 7-0 OSU. Just 3.5 minutes deep into this game on an overcast day here in Lincoln. A lot of rain last night, but it has stopped and it's dry for the moment. Grigsby collects this one, gets it across the 30 to the 31. Zach Carter makes the Cowboy tackle. Now it's up. A late flag comes out.
We're going to get a personal foul on Oklahoma State. Dead ball foul. Unnecessary roughness.
Well, it was a 15-yard penalty on Nebraska that really set up Oklahoma State for that drive. Almost the same thing here. This is going to push it up near midfield.
After the play, personal foul, 26, Oklahoma State, 50-yard penalty, first down.
Those always help. 15 yards you don't have to work for, that always helps.
You know, Kellen, Oklahoma State's been their own worst enemies. They're one of the most penalized teams in college football. They've turned the ball over. That's just a killer play. Your offense has come out, really had a nice drive. You're off to a good start, and then you just give 15 yards back to Nebraska. That's kind of been the story of the Cowboys season. Offset eye for Nebraska on 1st and 10. Lucky on the stretch play. Slide for about 3. Nathan Peterson, one of the ends, makes a tackle for OSU.
Okay. Nebraska's offense. You just had a nice return out to the 30-yard line. You had 15 more yards on the penalty. And the first play you run is an inside stretch play. I mean, come on, the momentum's on your side. Let's take a shot down the field. That's a great time for it.
2nd down and 7 for Nebraska. Near midfield. Play action. They roll the pocket. Find Lucky in the flat. Good job by Oklahoma State's Patrick Levine. Middle backer came up strong that time. A short gain, and now another late flag comes out after this play is over. Here's a look again at Nebraska's offensive line. Byford, the center, young man out of Hartselle, Alabama. And the wideouts for Nebraska in backfield. It's Marlon Lucky, number 5, Swift, and
after the play,
getting the
number
start at
76,
the H-back spot.
Nebraska, personal foul, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Take a look at the right side of your screen, a little extracurricular activity there.
That has shoved him down. Lyden Murtha, the right tackle for Nebraska. That's, boy, again, those are the kind of plays that will drive coaches to retirement.
It certainly, retirement or involuntary exit, we'll call it that way. But again, I applaud the officials for taking control of the ball game, not letting those things get out of hand. You call those things early, not later in a ball game. You set the tone for the day. And
again, because it was a dead ball foul, it's after its post play. Now it's 3rd and 21 for Nebraska here at their own 35. Keller in the shotgun.
Here comes the screen.
Has time, throws it downfield. Purify makes the catch, and they will call it a catch at the 40-yard line. He was along the boundary there. Quentin Moore was the free safety on the coverage. Purify, great concentration, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down, although there is a flag back in the backfield. We might have a hold on Nebraska.
Holding, 76 offense, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Lyden Murtha, who had the personal foul on the previous play.
Might be a good time to bring Murtha to the sideline, have a little chit-chat, maybe calm down here on this 3rd and now 40-some-odd yards. Just pull him down. Oh, yeah. That's a 2-point takedown in Roman Greco wrestling.
Well, and they know about wrestling in Oklahoma State. Great wrestling program for the Cowboys.
I saw him try to spin out of it. He tried to reverse his body and get out of it, whatever they call that move.
But the score is still 7-0 Cowboys. They don't get 2 points for that. Now it's 3rd and 31 for Nebraska. And a draw play, which has some cat calls out here in Lincoln. Peterson knocks Lucky down after a short gain of 4 on the play. And what a start for Oklahoma State defensively. The Cowboys, who again have not had a lot of success defensively, get 2 stops to start this game.
You can see the confidence growing on the Oklahoma State side, and of course the doubt coming up on the Nebraska side. Fans are, you don't see fans boo in Nebraska. You just don't see it for the home team.
Titchener to boot it away for the 2nd time today. And Oklahoma State should get fairly good field position again. Savage makes the catch of the 32, and there's the timing was right that time for Ricky Tenars, who had the penalty earlier. His helmet came off, but he timed it right that time and stopped Savage in his tracks. And Oklahoma State will take over their own 32. He better be careful not to get a celebration penalty after making the hit. But boy, Mike Gundy's got to be thrilled, Kellen, with the start to this game. Nice drive offensively, and his defense has put up a fence twice.
Indeed they have. Big hit coming down the field. The young man learned from the last play. He timed it better on this play, and that's the type of plays that can really get a defense fired up and get the crowd back into the ball game, and you need that type of action.
And Nebraska needs something to go right for them here, down 7-0 early in this game. 9:23 to go in the opening quarter. And Mike Gundy, one of 17 coaches in the country who is currently coaching his alma mater. And that has to be a thrill, maybe a little added pressure to go back to your school to be the head coach.
It could be some added pressure, but it also is a great way to keep tradition going. As I was looking through the Nebraska media guide, just to make a counterpoint to that, the question that a lot of people have been asking all week long is, where's the fire here in Nebraska? And when I talk about where's the fire, I say, where's the tradition? Where's the legacy? Going through the coaching staff, and it doesn't have a direct point, but it could be an indirect effect to it. I think there's only one coach on the staff who actually played here in Nebraska. I know the athletic director Peterson went to Nebraska, graduated from Nebraska in 1980. But the disconnect that you have when the coaching staff has not played there, and they're pretty much just employees working at the school. Where's that fire coming from? Who's the leader? Who's keeping that legacy going on? with past players as well as current players to help recruit more players to keep that program as stellar as it is. And you look at the Nebraska media guide, which I do whenever I do a ball game. I look at both teams' media guide. I look for that legacy. Nebraska doesn't have it. Oklahoma State does.
Great point. First and 10 Cowboys. Ball at their own 32. Savage the lone back. Play being signaled in from the sidelines from the OSU coaching staff. Savage pushes forward for about 3. Brandenburg makes the tackle. Let's head you down to the sideline and Joel Goldberg.
Well, Greg, Nebraska fans have already had the gamut of emotions run here because early on I could not hear you during that tunnel walk, period. And even on that first series, since it got really quiet, perhaps the Ricky Bernard's hit there is what will get them back into it because they're loud again with the black shirts on defense, but this crowd is definitely getting restless. We'll see where they go from here.
Well, while you were talking there, Joel, you could see a lot of the folks in the stands with arms kind of folded in the crowd waiting for something positive to happen today. 2nd and 7, Savage on the toss. Gets near a first down as he pushes out across the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Armando Murillo. It'll be 3rd and short for OSU.
Take a look at the spread here, stretching it out, hitting the hole, getting up in the hole, and then dragging it. This is, did you hear the crowd get quiet after that run? They were excited about it, but those types of run really kill the crowd momentum. Nebraska needs a stop, needs a big play. Now I'm used to a Nebraska football team where turnovers, hard hitting, the ball's on the ground, they're going the other way with it.
Savage the deep back on 3rd and 1 for OSU at their own 42. We just going under 8 minutes in this first quarter. Sneak by Robinson, he has the first down. As he pushes his way out near the 44-yard line.
This Oklahoma State offense, it is so balanced, it is so smooth. They're very methodical about what they're trying to do. And I know the young kid Robinson is he's very young at that position, but the leadership that he's showing down on the field, getting to play from the sideline, getting his team set up, getting him to the line and executing. It's a thing of beauty.
New set of downs for the Cowboys at their own 44. Midway through this opening quarter, 7-0 OSU. Back to throw Robinson, wide open is Pettigrew, the tight end, inside the 35. Ridden down around the 30. Ball pops out, but the official has blown the play dead at the 30. Brandenburg makes a tackle. But there is Brandon Pettigrew, who has made 17 catches on the year. There is a flag on the play. This one might be coming back.
The tight end is always open. Coming across the middle, gets tripped up a little bit. And another thing I like about...
No penalty.
No penalty. I guess the flag just fell out of his pocket. One thing I like about the Oklahoma State offense is the consistency, the flow. They've got misdirection. People moving in one direction, coming back the other way. And the same action, but 3 or 4 plays are coming off that action. It confuses the defense.
Ball at the Husker 30 for Oklahoma State. Robinson will operate out of the shotgun here on first down. Little option. Robinson makes the pitch. 7. Have a hole. 20. 15. 10. Inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. Cowboys at the 8-yard line. Tierre Green makes a tackle. Well-designed play. Well executed by Oklahoma State.
Take a look at the replay. Okay, you come outside. Watch the speed issue. Quarterback does a great job of pushing the end, the pitch man, forcing him to play him, and then pitches it to the back. The back hits the hole. There was no one there to cover. The pitch man, the guy responsible for the quarterback, can't play both. He can't get over there and make 2 things happen.
1st and goal, Oklahoma State at the 8. Cowboys already up 7-0. Savage bounces to the outside, lowers his shoulder, knocked out of bounds at the 3. It'll be 2nd and goal. Murillo over there to make the tackle for Nebraska, but again, good job up front. There was an opening there for Savage. He takes advantage, gets 5.
Does a great job in the hole, but the right side, tight end seals off his block just enough to hold Bo Rudd up, gives the back a chance to get inside, dance a little bit, then choose a lane, knock it to the outside to bring it down to the 4-yard line. This is too easy for Oklahoma State.
Robinson in the shotgun. Savage off to his left. Option to the near side. Robinson keeps. Nebraska covers well that time. It'll be 3rd and goal as Barfield makes the hit.
Number 98 for Nebraska. Watch the penetration. He takes the tackle and pushes him back on the other side of the line of scrimmage. That's the way you stop the option play. Penetration, make the quarterback be played by a guy who's getting penetration. It breaks the whole thing down. Excellent play by Nebraska on that one.
3rd and goal. Robinson will have twins to the far side of the field. Keep an eye on Bowman down in this area. Robinson pumps, looks, throws, incomplete. And he was looking for Bowman, who turned and looked for a flag. No flag on the play, and it'll be 4th down, and Oklahoma State will have to settle for 3.
Outside move coming back to the inside. Defensive back didn't break on it. A little bit of holding there, but, you know, they're going to allow some of that inside the goal line.
Jason Ricks will try a 21-yard field goal attempt. He is 4 for 4 from this distance this year. This will try to give the Cowboys a 2-possession lead. Cole Reynolds to spot it down. The kick is up and good. 10-0 Oklahoma State. 2 impressive drives for the Cowboys to start this game. 6:08 left first quarter. Oklahoma State 10, Nebraska nothing. As Zac Robinson has looked impressive early on the road today for OSU.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Joel Goldberg down here on the field by the Husker bench. Interesting to see the emotions of the Nebraska players because they were at least a little bit relieved not to have given up that touchdown on the last series. A small victory, only being down 10-0 instead of 14. At the same time, while the heads guys aren't down on the bench, there's not a ton of emotion there either. You don't see a lot of jumping around. You don't see a lot of screaming, just kind of flat, which is, of course, what we've seen on the field as well.
Well, there have been mistakes for Nebraska so far in this game. Personal fouls, holding penalties that wiped out a potential first down play for Nebraska. So now the offense for NU needs to respond and put some points to the board. But what a terrific start for Oklahoma State as the Cowboys have scored in their first 2 possessions. That last drive, 9 plays, 63 yards. They used a little over 3 minutes, and yes, it was only 3 points, but it does give them a 2-possession lead in this game, 10-0.
2-possession lead, but that's a big victory for Nebraska.
Yep.
Not to give up that touchdown when they've got on the 4-yard line the chance to go in for 6 more.
Rigsby again gathers this one in around the 10. Has a seam across the 30 to the 32. Tackle made by Bryant Ward of Oklahoma State.
You know, Joel just told us about what's taking place on the Nebraska sideline. I would ask him to take a look and see where the members of the 1997 National Championship team are. Are they next to the team, or are they further back off the field? Because those guys have the fire. They know how to win. If they're too far away from the team, I'd suggest bringing them a little bit closer to the sideline.
Maybe some of that karma would wear off a little bit.
They need some of that karma.
Keller to Roy Halou, who's in the backfield. Gets a couple of yards on that play. Joel, what do you have?
See a lot of those guys from the 97 team down here. They did a nice job with the tunnel walk. The emotions were great. They played a video a little while ago which got the crowd as loud as it has been all day. But those guys are up in their seats, and I think there's a lot of folks here in Husker Nation wondering whether they can get that 97 team back on the field right now.
Yeah, do they have any eligibility left? There's
right, and some, of course, their best players are in the NFL. That doesn't help either.
Yeah, that team went 13-0. They beat Tennessee and Peyton Manning in the Orange Bowl that year. 2nd down and 7. Keller hit, sheds off the tackler, falls forward, and actually gets it back to the line of scrimmage as Tonga Tea makes the play for Oklahoma State.
It's good to be big and strong and young. Watch Keller as the pressure comes up the middle. Does a great job holding on to the football, not putting it on the ground, which would have been disastrous for Nebraska to have a turnover on their own 30-yard line, and does a good job getting the ball back upfield. Good presence in the pocket, not to panic.
3rd down and 6 for Nebraska. They're just breaking the huddle, and there's only 8 on the play clock. You have to hurry to get this snap off. Big 3rd down for the Husker offense. And whistles blow. Legal motion, perhaps, here on Nebraska. So they stop the play. Our white hat today, Greg Burks. Trying to decipher the call.
Timeout, Nebraska. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So Bill Callahan, someone on the sideline, saw that play clock dwindling down and saves it. This is a key play here, Kellen. Nebraska down 10-0. They need to get a first down and keep the ball away from OSU.
Again, punting from their own 30-yard line, they would give Oklahoma State decent field position and a chance to return the ball if they so choose. But I tell you, Oklahoma State right now offensively is just clicking. They're just clicking. Good mixture, run and pass. They're running off the same flow. They'll run a run off the play action. They'll run a pass coming off the play action. And right now they've got Nebraska a little bit off balance.
3rd down and 6 for the Huskers. Their own 36. Halu will be the back in the backfield with Keller, who will operate out of the shotgun here. Twins to the far side of the field. Step, throw. Nope, out of bounds. It was pulled in on the near side by Terrence Nunn, but they'll say he was out of bounds on the catch. So it's 4th down, and Nebraska will have to punt.
Great job by Terrence Nunn getting upfield, turning around, coming upfield. The ball was just a half a count late, just a half a count late. As he turned, the ball should have been in the air. He had to turn and wait, gave the defensive back a chance to close on it, and he just naturally drifted more to the sideline. The fans thought it was in. They want a replay.
Terrence Nunn thinks it is in and is pleading his case, and this one may be under a booth review. Bill Callahan can challenge one play.
Holding on the field is incomplete pass. That play is under review.
So the booth review will take place here. This is close. Nunn thinks that he got his toe down. Give you a look at home.
The big step to naturally drifting to the outside. There's the catch. Does he have control of it?
It's got to be conclusive to overturn the ruling on the field.
Oh, we're not going to get it from that back view. The front view gave us the better look at it.
That toe might be down.
Yeah, he looks like a catch. He's got both feet in. The question will be, did he control the football? Looks like he did control the football, but again, we get the advantage of frame by frame while the official has to make that snap judgment.
This is probably the best angle here. There's the catch. Is the foot down? Looks like it's down there. And then
that's a catch.
Let's make it overturned.
That's a catch. That's a great catch, by the way.
Yeah.
Just a great catch.
Speaking of that, Terrence Nunn had 32 straight games with the catch until last week. It was snapped in that game in Columbia.
Who was that? The Missouri Tigers?
There you go. There's your one reference.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Missouri's off to a terrific start, playing great football, and they've got a big game tonight, which will be on FSN with Oklahoma. And
I'm trying not to get too excited because last year, we started off as gangbusters and kind of faltered, and I took some heat back in the office. I was running around my Missouri Tigers shirt, my hat, and feeling good. I'm talking BCS and the whole thing, and then we got into conference play, and injuries and inexperience caught up with us, and I had to eat some crow, to say the least. So this year I'm just kind of being quiet and letting it play itself out.
Well, our white hat has the decision.
After review, the play stands as called. 4th down.
Ooh.
May not have felt like it was conclusive enough to overturn, and that's what it's got to be. And so Nebraska will be forced to punt here on 4th down.
Wow, sometimes you just don't know what you're looking at.
Parrish Cox will be back deep to return this punt. Savage has brought the first two back, and Titchener will kick it away. Titchener came into the game averaging nearly 42 yards a punt. Good snap. This one off the side of the foot. And Oklahoma State's going to get outstanding field position. This is going to be up near midfield, where this is going to be marked out. And well, that's not what you wanted from the Nebraska point of view, but to give Oklahoma State, as you mentioned, an offense that is clicking the ball near midfield. It's going to be at the 45-yard line of OSU. And
when you're at midfield, the play calling changes drastically. You are more apt to try things, go down the field. You see a little bit more action. When you're down in your 20, you can be a little more conservative. When you're down starting on your 45-yard line, you may take a shot, because right now Nebraska is just out of sync.
Robinson on the shotgun on 1st and 10.
go for the juggler.
Pettigrew in motion and movement up front. I've been Denny, the right guard, who left the shade early.
Prior to the snap, false start, 65 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
There's a Darius Bowman. He has already had an impact on this game. A couple of catches. You see the left guard pull a little too soon.
Oh, yeah. He was excited about the opportunity. Sometimes you just can't have a big one sitting down there that long. They got to get up.
First and 15 now for the Cowboys at their own 40. Option play for Robinson. Makes the pitch. Savage has some room. First down to the Husker 40-yard line. As Corey McEwen pushes him out of bounds, but this has been a very effective play today for Oklahoma State.
Again, here they come on the same play, the same motion, and they're going to take it this way. But they do a great job of showing motion that way and then coming back. Now here's the stretch. That's a great block right there. He gets to the outside, and this guy's in no man's land. He doesn't know what to do. So he does the right thing. He comes up and threatens the quarterback, and there's no more support. He's the last guy.
That was 19-yard pickup of the play. Savage looking. Oh, Robinson on the fake, keeps it. Now throws it out in the flat, overthrows Savage. It'll be an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10. As Octavian had the pressure on Robinson that time. Nebraska's trying to say as a lateral, it was clearly a forward pass. But good pressure by Nebraska up front to pressure Robinson.
The defensive end stayed home. You know, you talk about the flow of action. On the last 3 plays that Oklahoma State has run or attempted to run, they've shown flow to one side or the other. They're keeping the same basic, forcing the defense to stay at home. That time the defensive end did a great job of staying at home.
Robinson rolls to the right side, can run. Steps and throws, downfield wide open, pass is caught along the sideline. It's a touchdown for Oklahoma State. Seth Newton makes the catch, and it is a score for the Cowboys.
Oh, let's go back to the replay. Did he cross that line of scrimmage? He was awful close to it. Awful close to it. You see the line of scrimmage is right there at the 41-yard line. We're going to see the receiver way downfield. The shot we want to see is the quarterback. And that's why Oklahoma State is hurrying up trying to kick this ball.
And it's going to be reviewed. Yeah, and it was right in front of the Nebraska bench. They had a great vantage point to see whether Robinson came across the line.
It's going to be awfully close.
The last play is under review.
And what a huge play in this game it is Nebraska's secondary thought Robinson was going to run. They released on Newton, who just kept going down the sideline, and Robinson right over the top, pretty easy throw, and Newton just had to tighten up that sideline and get in for a score.
Oh, it's awful close. I think it's a touchdown.
I think it's a touchdown.
I think it's a touchdown. He was right there, pulled that foot back just enough, and had enough momentum to get the ball downfield.
Yeah, as the play unfolded, my mind was saying that he crossed the line of scrimmage, but I think he's about a half a yard back behind the line of scrimmage when he lets the ball go.
Or he's on the line of scrimmage.
Or on it. It's close.
I don't want to get technical here, but he's on the line of scrimmage when he throws a football. Let's give the receiver credit. He does the right thing. He continues to run the play.
Where Grigsby lets him go and comes forward, and wide open is Newton.
Oh,
Can't tell from that
he's
angle.
on the line of scrimmage.
Can't tell from that angle. Well, what a key play in the game. Oklahoma State could have, for the 2nd straight week, a 17-0 lead on the road if this stands up. Wow. Well, he lands beyond the line of scrimmage, but it doesn't matter where he lands. When does he let go of the football?
Exactly. It's going to be awful close. But again, the crowd just sitting on their hands.
Is church going on right now? Well, our guys in the truck think that Robinson was
After review,
past the line of scrimmage.
the play stands as called.
On the line of scrimmage. The momentum. Wow. Whew. You can't even get a call at home if you're Nebraska.
It's a couple of booth reviews that have not gone Nebraska's way. Remember the Terrence Nunn catch along the boundary.
Exactly.
And then this play. So 16-0, and here's Jason Ricks to try to make it 17-0 Cowboys. They have had a terrific first quarter here on the road. The whistles blow. Movement up front, which will stretch back this point after attempt.
Prior to the snap, false start for the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay the try.
Let's replay these drives back in our mind. I don't believe Nebraska's crossed the 50-yard line yet.
They have not.
Outside the punt,
Nebraska,
one punt had.
Nebraska's one first down, Kellen,
Yeah,
so far.
one first down. Wow.
And OSU has had drives of 50, 63, and 55 yards. Ricks will be, this will be about a 25-yard point after try. And he makes it. 17-0 Oklahoma State. 4:06 to go in the first quarter. It has been a picture-perfect start for the Cowboys here on the road. And for the second straight week, they have gone into a Big 12 venue and have built a 17-0 lead. Now, last week it didn't come out so good for them. Hoping to change the script here today in Lincoln.
This provides a coaching moment for Mike Gundy and his staff to remind his team, we've been here before, we know what to do. We know what we did last week. We know what to do in order to reverse that and to get on that winning trail.
And for Nebraska, it's the second straight week of just a very difficult first quarter. Last week in Columbia, Missouri scored on their first two drives to lead 14-0 in that game. And Bill Callahan looking for some answers. His offense needs to put some points on the board. I mean, if they're going to win, they're going to be in a shootout here today, and they cannot just get, they have to get some production from their offensive 11.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they've thrown the ball downfield one time. We talked about that in the opener. I'd like to see Sam Keller go downfield more. They did complete it, although they did have a penalty.
Right.
But have not gone back to that yet.
It was a holding penalty that brought it back. That wiped out a first down. They had the near miss on the boundary with Nunn's catch. It was ruled out of bounds. That would have been a first down. So a hole has been dug by the Cowboys here for Nebraska at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Rigsby at the 6. Again across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. It's a pretty good field position for Nebraska. Zach Carter makes the tackle, and let's send you down to the sidelines and Joel Goldberg.
Well, Greg, I know this might be a shock, but all smiles on the Oklahoma State bench. Lots of laughing, lots of happiness over there. After they punched the ball in the end zone on that last one, and I'll change the wording a little bit, one of the players in amazement said, "Holy cow." Then the message from the defensive coaches to the defense was, this next series is huge. It begins right now.
Quentin Castillo will be the tailback. And Joel, you're right. This is a pivotal moment of this game, maybe the season for Nebraska. Down 17-0 here at home. Castillo off the right side. He has a hole. This big true freshman out of Texas rumbles forward for 8 yards on first down. Donovan Woods makes a tackle for the Cowboys.
That's a big young man. I thought the guard had the ball for a moment. A guard with speed. He turned upfield.
Castillo 6'1", 244. True freshman. So we've seen two true freshman tailbacks for Nebraska in his first half. Halu and now Castillo.
Oh, he's going to be dangerous when he grows up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good looking.
True freshman. God, good looking kid.
This is Lucky around the right side. He has a first down and bumped out at the 45. Tackle made by Roderick Johnson. And a roar from the crowd because the Huskers have a first down.
Nebraska football fans are so knowledgeable. They know the game inside and out. They know what's important. They know they need to have this drive and the momentum. Good stretch play, good blocking by the ends, the tackles there to just kind of keep their hands on the defenders and give it back a chance to pick up the first down. Bill Callahan being very patient.
Long way to go in this one. Here's Lucky. Picks forward for 4 to 5 yards on that play. as Derek Burton makes a tackle. Let's go down to Joel.
Well, the fans perhaps a little sarcastic. You know, they usually release balloons after the first Nebraska score. They felt like they couldn't wait any longer. They've released them after the first down. Other fans actually released them after the last Oklahoma State touchdown.
Yeah, they are floating now high above Memorial Stadium. 2nd and 6 from the 49. Again, the handoff. This is Castillo. He has a first down. Flag comes out at the end of the play. The run was enough for a first down as Jacob Lacey makes the Cowboy tackle.
Should a 244-pound kid be moving that quickly?
No, it doesn't seem right, does it?
Wow. The momentum killer.
Holding.
Oh,
85 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So J.B. Phillips, one of the H-backs for the Huskers. It'll be a spot foul, and it was downfield where he made the hold, so it pushes the ball back to the 46, and we'll set up 2nd and 9 for Nebraska. Yeah, Castillo, good-looking player, has 3 touchdowns already this year for Nebraska.
And being a true freshman, they bring him in, they give him a run, they bring him out, see what type of, where his head is, how excitable he is, and it's spot playing to kind of get him ready to be the top back probably a year or 2.
This is Lucky off the left side. Fights forward. Picks up 7. It'll be 3rd and 1. Donovan Woods. Young man from Millwood High School in Oklahoma City makes a tackle. There's Tim Beckman, the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State, whose defense has played well here in the first quarter.
They played extremely well, getting the pressure, coming across the ball. Coverage downfield has been good. Of course, Nebraska's not taking too many shots down there. But I think Coach Callahan is going to loosen up here in a little bit.
A couple of H-backs in the lineup on this 3rd and 1. Keller, though, rolls the pocket to the near side, flips it out in the flat. Nunn makes the catch and has the first down at the 42. Well, Nebraska may decide to just kind of go to their power game a little bit, Kellen, to try to get some rhythm and try to just slow this game down, which is the Cowboys have been really on a hot start.
Now, they crossed the 50-yard line. Yeah, you pick up the first down, okay? And then that's a good thing, pick up the first down. But that's a whole lot of effort and a difficult throw to pick up a yard. When you got the running game going, you take a shot downfield and come back on 4th down and go for it.
Lucky off the right side. Thrown forward by Patrick Levine. Pick up of 5 on first down. Well, we're still a little over a minute to go in the first quarter. There's a long, long way to go in this game.
A long way to go, but you want to establish something. I think that's what Coach Callahan is trying to do right now. Establish the run so it opens up the ways for the pass a little bit later. Just a good stretch play, you know, helmet on helmet, body on body, mano a mano. I think we're better than you are.
Lucky's in motion. Halu is the one back behind Keller. He gets the pitch.
Oh, look outside, look outside.
He should have bounced out there. He gets 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2 as Burton makes the OSU tackle. There's another true freshman in Roy Halu.
Now take a look at it. It wasn't Halu I wanted to bounce to the outside. It's the guard who's pulling. Number 59 coming across, looks to the outside. There you go. Actually, number 77 should have been the first guy to make the decision to take the outside guy. Then number 56 coming into the hole made a decisive move to go back to the inside. So I apologize, number 56. 77 make a better decision, quicker decision.
3rd and 2. Keller rolls, throws, caught, first down, Nunn with a 29. Tackle made by Woods, so Nebraska has a drive going, and that's going to be the final play of the first quarter. So a little rhythm. Opportunity for the crowd to cheer a little bit here in Lincoln. And a first quarter that was dominated by the visitors as Oklahoma State will take a 17-0 lead to the 2nd quarter here in Lincoln. But Nebraska is on the march, and we'll have 1st and 10 from the Cowboy 29 when we come back. Overcast but dry so far here in Lincoln today, but it has been an Oklahoma State start. Cowboys lead it 17-0 on the road in a mid-season battle in the Big 12. We welcome you back to Lincoln, Nebraska. We are ready to start the second quarter. 17-0. Mike Gundy's Cowboys lead Nebraska last week. The same score for Oklahoma State on the road at Texas A&M, and then it became the Jaworski Lane show. And yeah, Kellen, that's a big running back for A&M. And the Aggies come back and win that game 24-23.
They grow those running backs pretty big in Texas. Again, I mentioned earlier, this is a teachable, coachable moment for Mike Gundy and his staff to remind these young men. We were in this situation last week. We know what to do. We realize the mistakes that we made. We play our football. We don't put the ball on the ground. We win this football game. And that's what's hurt Oklahoma State over the last the 3 losses. Turnovers, mistakes, penalties in key situations.
Cowboys came into this game -6 on the year in the turnover margin. It's tough to win many games when you're not winning the turnover margin. And so far today, they've had a clean game. And obviously, that young man, Darius Bowman, has had a good start to this game. And that was his numbers from last week's game. 7 catches. He had a terrific outing against the Aggies. But the Huskers trying to establish some rhythm, and maybe Bill Callahan, remembering that A&M tape with a big power running game of the Aggies working, has kind of gone to the ground game on this drive.
And that's what you want to do. You want to look at your opponent's last game to see what they were weak at, and you're absolutely right. That's what Coach Callahan could be thinking. Setting up the run to take your shot down the field. Those safeties start to creep up more and more and more, and eventually you can take a shot right over the top.
1st and 10, Nebraska at the 29 of Oklahoma State for Bill Callahan's Huskers. Quentin Castillo, the true freshman, into the tailback spot. He gets the handoff. Has a seam. Tiptoes out of bounds to the 21 as Jacob Lacey over there to shove him out of bounds.
Watch the fullback on the lead, kicking out the corner to open things up for him. That's easy when your fullback is working for you like that. The tailbacks go back and just kind of say, hey, thanks, man, I appreciate it. Your neck will be sore tomorrow, but I appreciate it.
2nd and 3. Again, Castillo hurdles the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a first down. You know, a lot of people, when they hear West Coast offense, think that it's all throwing the ball. It's not. It's a lot of running game. A lot of great running games have been developed out of the West Coast offense.
It's all about setting up and getting the hole. Getting to the hole at the right time. The guard got tripped up a little bit trying to get into the hole. They probably had a bigger run if he hadn't tripped, causing Castillo to slow up and try to bounce it to the outside.
1st and 10, Nebraska now at the Cowboy 18. Early second quarter, 17-0 Cowboys. Lucky's the I-back. Gets the handoff. Good pursuit by Oklahoma State. Nathan Peterson, the end, sliding out there to make that tackle. No gain on that play.
Nathan Peterson, number 13. I don't know about the number, but just great. Defeated the double team, as a matter of fact. Worked through the tight end and the tackle to get outside. Now, that was probably a pre-snap read by the defense to slant that way, knowing what Nebraska normally does on first down. They ran to the area, and they guessed right. Peterson,
a Tulsa Union product, has 7 tackles on the year for a loss. That one, he held Nebraska at about a half-yard gain. Here is Lucky picking his way down near the 10. Burton makes the tackle for Oklahoma State, but very patient run that time by Lucky. It was not an explosive play, but an effective one that gains 8.
And you can do that. You can do that with the veteran I-back. Take the pitch, slide it to the outside, maybe stay just a tad deeper, so when you do see it, you can turn on the juices and go. Sign of a good running back. I've got good vision and I have speed to get to the hole. If you have that combination, you can be successful.
3rd and 2 for Nebraska. The ball just outside the 10. Early second quarter. It's Castillo hitting the backfield, fighting forward, no gain. Nice play by Jeremy Neathon. The senior backer for Oklahoma State makes the tackle. It'll be 4th and 2 and a decision coming up here for Bill Callahan.
Of course, the fans want him to go for it. I think he should myself. Penetration. Again, Oklahoma State guessing properly that they're going to run the football. Brought the backer up the middle. When Castillo got the ball, he had a defensive linebacker right in his face.
And Nebraska will go for it here. And it's 4th and maybe a long 2 here just outside the 10. Castillo will be the I-back. Nebraska brings their power set.
Castillo off the right side. Hit, stop, short of the first down. And Oklahoma State, with a big defensive stand, will take over on down to the 10-yard line. Jeremy Neathon makes the hit and tackle for the Cowboys.
Now, Greg, I want you to notice how Oklahoma State on that drive. Here's a snap coming to the outside. Just too much penetration to give the back a chance, especially a 244-pound back, a chance to make the proper plant and the cut. Oklahoma State anticipating runs, selling out, got the penetration across the line of scrimmage, disrupts the whole play. I want you to notice on Nebraska's next drive, they come out running the ball. How close the Oklahoma State's safeties are playing and linebackers are shooting the gap. It's great for play action, goes misdirection to the tight end, coming back against the flow for a nice, easy completion and a big run.
Well, we talked a lot in the open about Tim Beckman, the young defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State. His defense came into this game ranked 11th in the conference in total defense, but they have done a nice job in the first part of this game on the road, and right now pitching a shutout against Nebraska.
And Nebraska's being very vanilla, very basic. They're coming to their running game, their power running game, the stretch play, a couple of tosses. They've done nothing to really confuse them or force Oklahoma State to do anything different than be aggressive.
Now, Nebraska, you mentioned vanilla. How about Oklahoma State offensively? The way they've been able to move the football, they've done it both on the ground and through the air.
The great balance by Oklahoma State. I like the way they set up their offense, and I like the way they move the ball down and down the field. It causes the defense to be off balance and to always guess where the play is coming from. As you saw the defensive back there on that play, he wasn't sure if I should cover the wide receiver or if I should come up and support the run. And that indecision is what really you take advantage of.
Crosslin, a 1-yard run, the field goal by Ricks, and then that Seth Newton tightrope job along the far sideline. 41-yard pitch and catch from Zac Robinson. And that's our 17 points on the board for Oklahoma State here with 12:31 to go in the first half. And a homecoming crowd that has had very little to cheer about in Lincoln today. And look at that, how dominant the Cowboys have been offensively. More than double Nebraska with their yardage so far in this game. And Cowboys take over at their own 10, by far their poorest field position of the day. And if Nebraska wants to try to work their way back into this game, their defense needs to get some stops. Savage picking his way forward. 5-yard gain. 8-yard gain on the play up to the 18. Octavian knocks down Savage. Good patient run, but there was a hole and Savage found it.
Very patient run, but a great job by the tackle coming out. Watching my number 99, that little hole there at the very end as number 99 for Nebraska tried to get his inside on free. When your offensive lineman keeps your hands inside, they're not going to call holding. It's legally to hold when your hands are inside.
Kendall Hunter, the true freshman, in at tailback for the Cowboys on 2nd and short here. He has been an impressive player, young man out of Tyler, Texas.
Great time to go play action.
Stretch play to Hunter. He has the first down and more. Up across the 30, Brandenburg finally lassos him at across about the 31-yard line. A pickup of 13 on the play. Hunter has averaged 7.7 yards a carry in his first season of college football.
Watch how Oklahoma State's offensive linemen are getting off the ball and moving the defensive linemen for Nebraska, keeping them tied up. Not just tied up where they slide to one side, but square with them where they can't make an arm tackle.
Oklahoma State has worked their way out of the hole from the 10 out across the 30 here. 1st and 10 with Robinson on the shotgun. Keeps it, finds Bowman. Ladarius into Husker territory to the 45-yard line. Tierre Green makes a tackle, but Bowman found some space in the middle of the field with a nice pickup of the play.
Larry Fedora, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma State, is doing a great job at mixing up the plays. We've seen this already. Just simply off the run, off the play action, receiver comes downfield. Nebraska in the zone coverage, sits down. It's an easy read for the quarterback and for the wide receiver.
1st and 10 from the Nebraska 45 for Oklahoma State. Early second quarter, 17-0 Cowboys with the lead. Hunter gets the handoff. Bounces to the outside. Nice gain. Has a first down. Pushed out at the 33-yard line by Larry Asante to safety, but it's a pickup of 13 on the play as Kendall Hunter, the talented freshman tailback for Oklahoma State, moves the chains.
Again, Oklahoma State. Each man has a hat on a Nebraska red shirt, and they're tied up. Not tied up sliding to the side where you're trying to get a guy's shoulder and the other hand is free. They're square where both hands of the defenders are tied up. That's why the holes look so big.
1st and 10 from the Cornhusker 34 for Zac Robinson of the Oklahoma State offense. Play action. Robinson looking downfield, looking for the tight end. Up and battling with McEwen. Good coverage by Corey McEwen on Pettigrew. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I would have caught that one.
Well, Hall of Famers would, yeah.
In my dreams. Of course, I never remember dropping a ball. But again, coming off of play action, quarterback sees a tight end. You make that throw. Most people say the tight end was not open, but you make that throw because the defender's back is turned and you're looking eye to eye.
That's Hunter sprinting down the far sideline. Does he stay in bounds? Yes, touchdown Oklahoma State. Kendall Hunter, the true freshman from Tyler, Texas, a 33-yard dash, and Oklahoma State leads it 23-0.
Hat on hat. Tight end does a great job. Defensive end. They're in position. I mean, everybody's playing their defense the way that's designed to play. They're just not getting off the blocks and making plays.
Kendall Hunter's 4th touchdown run of the season has put Oklahoma State up 23-0, and now Jason Ricks to try to add the PAT in what has become a very silent crowd here at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Ricks' kick is up and through the uprights. 24-0 Oklahoma State, a 90-yard drive of the Cowboys, capped by a 33-yard dash by the true freshman from Tyler, Texas. It's all Cowboys right now in Lincoln. We welcome you back to Lincoln, Nebraska. It's been all Oklahoma State. The Cowboys lead it 24-0. Let's send you down to the sidelines and Joel Goldberg.
You know, Greg, before we were talking about Nebraska's bench being a little bit flat. After the last offensive series, when they failed to convert on 4th and 2, a lot of those players were coming off shaking their heads, really looking discouraged. And then as the defense just gave up that touchdown, the same offense, the Husker offense, got up off that bench, and they just looked real sluggish, almost like that feeling of, oh boy, we got to get out there again. So there's not a lot of energy there, understandably, and we're on the Oklahoma State side. You see the smiles, you see the excitement, you see a lot of teaching going on. You don't even see much of that right now in Nebraska, just a lot of guys sitting around perplexed.
Wow, what a start by Oklahoma State here on the road. They have taken the life out of the crowd at Huskers with their play so far in this game. But to be bottled up at the 10 and then go 90 yards, very impressive for Mike Gundy's Cowboys here on the road. And a kickoff headed to the far boundary. Pulled in by Courtney Grigsby. Across the 30, up the sideline, and upended by the kicker, Ricks, at the 41-yard line.
Can you get overtime on your scholarship? Because Grigsby needs it. This is his, what, 5th return in the first half. Coming up the field. You know, he's got good protection there. Trying to find a hole, see some life, and then a big hit by the kicker. Oklahoma State, you're a tough football team when your kicker's tough.
Kickers, yeah, everybody kind of makes fun of them. You see a lot of them getting involved in special teams tackle. Nebraska starts this drive from their own 41. Lucky the handoff. Fighting forward for about 7 on first down up to the 48-yard line. Andre Sexton, the strong safety, makes the tackle. He was last year's Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Young man out of Houston. Oklahoma State has a lot of kids from Houston on their roster. It's a big recruiting area for Mike Gundy and the Cowboy coaching staff.
A lot of schools, a lot of universities go down to Houston, such a big city, and great quality of high school football.
Staggered set behind Keller on 2nd and 3. Stretch play to Lucky. Lucky gets a yard to the 49. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
At some point in time, you run a reverse off of that play because the defensive ends are closing down and anticipating. Watch the defensive end on the back where you can't see it from this angle, but they're just slanting down. There's nobody on the back side. They're anticipating and just slanting to that area and waiting for the running back to get there.
Big 3rd down here for the Huskers, who really need to get some points on the board here, down 24-0. 9:20 left first half. Keller in the shotgun. Gets the snap, gets hit. Ball comes out. That is a fumble. And it looks like Oklahoma State may have come up with it. And the Cowboys have forced a turnover and will take over at the Nebraska 40. Donovan Woods came on a blitz, hit Keller's arm, recovered by another one of the linebackers, Jeremy Neathon. And it's been all Oklahoma State here today in Lincoln. I don't know if Keller even felt the pressure.
No, I think he saw the guy coming off the end, but thought he'd get rid of the ball in time. Nope, he didn't see it. He was looking to the left, he was looking to the right, never saw him coming off the left side. That's again a smaller safety slash linebacker against a big left tackle. It's a mismatch.
Donovan Woods, who has come from a long line of players at Oklahoma State, his brother Rashawn had a touchdown the last time the Cowboys played here in Lincoln in 2003. Play clock at 2. Zac Robinson gets the handoff. This goes to Savage. And Dantrell inside the 35 and a 34. Gain of 6. Corey McEwen makes the tackle.
If I can go back 1 second, Greg, to the last drive that Oklahoma State had. The coaches learned about that loss last week when they were up 17-0 and lost by 1. They stayed aggressive in their play calling. Maybe last week they got a little bit tentative. We've got the football game. They stayed aggressive. So coaches learn also as well as players.
Second down and 4. Cowboys trying to punch a big hole into this game. Already up 24-0. Savage stutter steps, cuts to the outside. Now he has some room to run. Great block by the quarterback Robinson. And Savage has a first down at the 22. Was some big time blocking by Oklahoma State. McEwen makes the final hit on the play.
Great penetration by Nebraska. Force the running back to the other side. Now watch Robinson, the quarterback, come up and decide I'm going to sell out for my team. Whoa. Great below the waist block. Just huge. Coming up again. Who says the quarterback is a little bit timid? Oh, yeah.
Ben Eisenhart was the safety who took the blow from Robinson. First and 10 Cowboys at the 22. They are dominating this game here in Lincoln today. Robinson play action, looking, now being flushed. He's going to run, scrambles, gets a couple of yards in the play. At about the 18 is when he gets knocked down by Shakri Barfield in the play. Do you think that block will get a little hoot and holler in the film session?
Oh, without a doubt. He'll get a lot of love from the running back, and he'll, as a matter of fact, the wide receiver coach will take that film and show it to the wide receivers and say, this is how you're supposed to block. This is what I want to see you do. If you're not doing this, get off my field.
Kendall Hunter, the true freshman, in the tailback spot here for the Cowboys on 2nd down and 6. Pettigrew in motion. Hunter gets the handoff. Fights forward near a first down. Brandenburg makes the tackle. Looks like he'll be about a half-yard shy.
I'm not seeing the swarm that I normally see in a Nebraska defense of the black shirts. Defensive line did a great job that time of holding their ground, forcing the back to come to the line and stutter. But when that back stutters, there should be a swarm that comes from both sides on top of him. He had a chance to stutter, make a slide to the right, and then cut back into the hole before the rest of the defense got there.
3rd and less than a yard for Oklahoma State. Hunter is the back behind Robinson. He'll keep it himself, pushes forward for a first down. Down to the 10. And should set up a 1st and goal situation for the Cowboys. Mike Gundy, whose team has certainly had some problems this year. They lost on the road in non-conference play at Troy. Last week lost that big lead. Certainly could use a huge win for him in his program in the 3rd year. And has to love the way this game has started for his club. Hunter takes the handoff, fights through a tackle, and gets knocked down at around the 6 by Tierre Green, the free safety.
A conference win, just to pick up on your point, Greg, a conference win on the road against a team like Nebraska can really propel this Oklahoma State team back into the prominence that they had when Les Miles was there. It helps in recruiting. It helps in a lot of different areas.
Hunter on a stretch play around the left side. Cuts up, fights forward, ball may have popped out there at the end. And Ndamukong Suh, they're going to mark the ball just inside the 1.
I think it went out of bounds.
I think the ground bounce popped it out. As he went down, it popped up. Again, quick snap, trying to get to the outside. Nebraska, again, the defensive line does a great job with penetration. Gets inside, yeah. The ground, he hit the ground and the ball popped up.
So it will be inside the 1 here for 3rd and goal for Oklahoma State. Crosslin is back there. He gets the head off, rumbles in untouched. Another touchdown for Crosslin, his 2nd of the day. And it's 30-0. Cowboys with the lead here with 5:51 left in the first half.
The Oklahoma State fans who made the trip were having a great time over here to our right. Again, quick snap, just trying to take advantage of it. No penetration whatsoever. When you don't get penetration on the guideline, it's so easy. Quarterback knows it, goes, yes, yes. We're not going to let this one go. We're not going to let this one go.
You have to admire this Oklahoma State team and their moxie coming off of last week's heartbreaking loss when they really felt like they had that game won at College Station, and to come right back out on the road in front of 84,000 fans and really take it to Nebraska in the first half.
On the defense, half the distance. Try.
That'll move the ball to just outside the 1.
Yeah.
Still kicking.
Well, the kicker's leg is so strong, he's been kicking the last extra points over the net. This one may end up in the upper tier if it stays in the stadium.
Might hit it down toward Beatrice. Ricks out of the hold from Cole Reynolds. The snap of Zach Allen to try to make it 31-0 Cowboys. Snap down, kick is up, and it is perfect.
Over the net again.
31-0 Oklahoma State. The Cowboys have dominated this one in Lincoln here in the first half as they're rolling the Big Red. We welcome you back to Lincoln, Nebraska. 31-0. The Cowboys lead this game, and this is a shock as Oklahoma State has totally dominated a football game here in Lincoln, which very few people have been able to do down through the years. Greg Sharp along with Kellen Winslow, and I'm kind of befuddled by what we have seen so far here today.
Well, the question was coming into this ball game, where's the fire? I think that question is still out there. Where is the fire from Nebraska? Where's the spirit of the 1997 national championship team? Just don't see the enthusiasm. From a speed factor, I think Nebraska lacks a little bit on defense from a speed standpoint, and just from a technique. They're not getting off the blocks to make plays, and you're used to seeing black shirts swarming, and they're not swarming.
A lot of sad looking faces on the fans in the stands as you take a look at some of the crowd shots there. Oklahoma State will kick it off. 31-0 our score. Still have over nearly 6 minutes to go in this first half. A disastrous day so far for Nebraska, and a terrific start to this game for the Cowboys. There's Grigsby again. Up near the 30. This is where the Cornhuskers will take over.
Great strategy by Oklahoma State to limit the field, kick it to the sideline. Use the sideline as another defender. Grigsby, you see, has a lot of speed, and in the open field could be a lot more dangerous, so they kick it to that boundary to limit his opportunities.
Sam Keller will lead the offense back out. Halu will be the I-back for Nebraska. Phillips and Tifa Tiller are the H-backs on this set. Halu off the right side. Upended after a short gain to the 32 by Jacob Lacey. Corner out of Garland, Texas for Oklahoma State. Cowboys, who played at A&M last week, up here in Lincoln this week, and then they're back home to play K-State next Saturday. In fact, they've got their next three at home. They'll play K-State, Texas, and KU, all in Stillwater. Halu remains in the game, gets the handoff. And up to the 36, gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 2 with Jeremy Neathon making the Cowboy tackle along with Patrick Levine.
Again, no shots down the field by Nebraska, trailing 30-0. I think the whole program is in shock right now about what do we do to get this thing back on track.
Only 6 pass attempts so far in the game by Keller. He's 3 of 6 for 11 yards so far in this game. In a passing situation here on 3rd down and 2. Rolls, pumps, looking, throwing downfield, intercepted. Picked off on that far side by Parrish Cox, who jumped the route in front of Maurice Purify, and the Cowboys get their 2nd turnover of the game.
They were going to that simple roll, trying to get the little 2-yard flat that they've picked up first downs on before. Keller sees a man wide open, but doesn't have the momentum, doesn't have his feet set to get the ball downfield for the completion. Now you bring up a good point about only the 6th, that being the 7th attempt in the ball game for 11 yards. It makes you wonder, there's something wrong with the arm of Keller. I don't want to speculate or start rumors, but it makes you wonder, why are we not seeing them throw the ball more when you're down by 30 points?
Savage off the left side. He cuts back, spins, and picks up about 6 on 1st down. Zach Potter makes the hit. Well, you wonder if they're not feeling comfortable enough that they can protect Keller. Can they hold their blocks long enough? And they've run the ball with some effectiveness, have the Cornhuskers here in the 1st half. But yeah, you do wonder when you're not trying to throw the football. They've not been very balanced in this 1st half. And a pretty dejected sideline here in Lincoln.
Not to mention the fans.
Savage over 100 yards rushing here in the 1st half for Oklahoma State after that carry. 2nd down and 4. Gets it again. Has a 1st down. Picking his way forward. Pulowski and Bo Ruud make the tackle for the Huskers.
When your offensive line is coming off the line of scrimmage like they are, like Oklahoma State is, it gives them back a great deal of confidence, and they start to get a little freelance in them. Hit the hole, bounce it to the outside, the ability to plant and get upfield. And that just energizes the offensive line more.
Offensive linemen love it when they get that running game going and just plow ahead. Savage the back behind Robinson on 1st and 10 for the Cowboys at the Husker 41. Savage gets it again. Big hole. Eludes the umpire and has a 1st down to the 28.
If the umpire's not in the way, he's still running.
Might have been 6.
Yeah, it might have been 6. Sometimes, I'm not sure if we can get a chance to watch the replay or not, but sometimes a back will outguess themselves. Here he comes up in the hole. If he bounces it to the outside, he's okay. Just keeps going to the outside. He tries to cut back, make the decision too early, come back to the inside, and gets the official involved in the play.
Ball just inside the 29 for the Cowboys, who lead 31-0 as we're about to roll under 3 minutes here in the 1st half. Savage the one back behind Robinson. The bunch set to the far side of the formation.
Score here will be devastating.
Savage, another nice stutter step move in the backfield. Gains 5 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd down. Yeah, there is just not much life in the stadium right now, Kellen, or that Nebraska sideline, and that defense needs to make a play.
Yeah, a turnover. Oh, watching the run here, you get back up to the inside. Again, Nebraska at the point of attack, they're okay, but no one is swarming to cut out to take away the cutback by the back.
2nd and 5. Play action. Robinson rolls, sets, ball tipped up and nearly picked off. Nice play made by Pierre Allen, who got his hands in the air to knock that one away. It'll be 3rd and 5, and there's a little life coming from the ground.
And that's the type of play that you're looking for, that tip ball where the defensive man can, your teammate can pick it up and take it the other way, but again, just a step too short. Coming in, getting that big mid up, and the other defensive end just a little bit too slow to get there to pick it up and rumble down the sideline to get Nebraska back in this football game.
3rd and 5. Robinson will operate out of the shotgun here. Little option to the near side. Pitches to Savage. It's wide open. Savage 15-10. And finally pulled, knocked out of bounds at about the 3. Eisenhart made the hit along with Murillo for Nebraska, but it'll be 1st and goal for the Cowboys. That play has worked every time they've run it today.
And they're running it right toward Bo, the 51. And what they're doing is they're getting Bo in space and realizing that Bo is a good football player when he has to make plays, but when you get him in space is where his weaknesses are exposed, I should say. Is when he gets in space, he's going to make that quick lateral move. That's asking an awful lot of any defensive end or linebacker to play both the pitch and the run. He needs some help and support over there.
First and goal, Cowboys at the 3. Play action, boot. Here comes Robinson. He'll walk in. Touchdown, Cowboys, for their 37th point of the game. And the folks who have traveled up from Stillwater for this one enjoy themselves in Lincoln on an overcast day.
Pass coming off the run, such a great job. He sailed the defensive end to the inside. He was selling out in a very unselfish play by the quarterback, who could have thrown the ball in, but he did not. Teamwork. Tight end turned around, picked up a block for him to make it easy for him to walk in.
Zac Robinson's 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And here's Jason Ricks to punch one through the uprights. And it is not a misprint on your screen. It is now 38-0 Oklahoma State with a lead as we near the end of the first half. And a disastrous first half for Nebraska, but just a terrific first half of play for the visitors from Stillwater. And Joe Goldberg standing down on the sideline.
Well, it seems like a foregone conclusion at this point that the Huskers will give up 40 points. And to put that in perspective a little bit, they've given up 40 or more to USC, Ball State, Missouri, and most likely here Oklahoma State. Back in the 70s, they never gave up 40 points in a game once, and they only did it twice in the 80s. And of course, we've talked about some of those great teams of the 90s, so this is truly historical.
It is, and when this score is flashed on scoreboards and telecasts throughout the country, it's going to raise some eyebrows about what's happening here in Lincoln right now.
Fans and coaches and voters around the country are going to see this and not believe what they're seeing on the screen. I'm here watching it, and I don't believe it.
A lot of puzzled looks by the Husker faithful. And again, folks maybe heading out for a little halftime snack. And another kickoff coming from Jason Ricks. Ricks being Andre Jones. Back deep. Minute 54 left first half. A half totally dominated by the Cowboys. Came in 3-3 on the year, 1-1 in league play. And Mike Gundy's club, and it's been an interesting year for Mike Gundy. Had some terrific recruiting classes the last few years. Had the flare-up in his post-game press conference after a thrilling victory over Texas Tech a few weeks ago, which got all kinds of national play. And then last week, surrendering that 17-0 lead. But I tell you, you got to tip your cap to him and his staff. They got him ready to play today, and they have come on the road and taken it to Nebraska.
Indeed they did. If I could make one comment about the mic. Oh, total yards. Wow. Is that for the game or just a half of football? That is for a half, not yet a half of football. 361 total yards.
Riggs kickoff, headed to the near boundary. And Huskers will have it out across the 35 at the 37-yard line on
Greg,
that return.
If I could go back to make one comment about Coach Gundy's, post-game press conference where he lashed out at the reporter. I was so proud of him for standing up for his players. I was so proud of him. I would wish more coaches would have the gumption to protect their players as he did. That's what parents send their kids to those schools for, and that's what they want them to see. They want to see that coach stand up for those players.
That gets lost in all that because it was all the coverage you saw nationally about it was it's a coach pitted against the media. It got lost on that there's a coach standing up for one of his kids.
Exactly, and that sends a ripple through the whole program. When those kids know that coach will stand up for them, they go back and tell those other recruits who are coming into that program, here's a stand-up guy who's got your back, not just somebody who talks about family, he lives it.
Keller hits none on the first down pass. Nebraska in their 2-minute offense here. Ball incomplete, intended for Swift that time. Nice job by Neathon, the linebacker, of knocking that ball free. It'll be third down and short with 1:17 left in the half. Nebraska would love to get some points on the board here before halftime.
Something to go into their locker room to feel good about, some type of momentum. Take a shot down the field. Pass interference, you might get a completion. If it's intercepted 40 or 50 yards downfield, doesn't matter, but take a shot.
3rd and 3. for Nebraska at their own 42. Keller, pass caught, first down, ball pops out. That's going to be an incomplete pass. They'll say that Sean Hill never had control of it. Lacey knocked it free. Nebraska trying to avoid their third straight possession with a turnover. And now they have fourth down and will need to punt the ball away.
Keller looking for the tight end, coming across, hits him. Oh, man.
That might be a fumble.
That may be a fumble. That may be a fumble right there. He had secured it and taken made a football move, or made a football-like move, and before the ball came out.
I'd say he had it before he got it knocked free, but snap is off, so the play will not be reviewed. Tichenor boots it away. Good kick. Oklahoma State will let it bounce. Takes a Husker roll. Won it a few times in the first half, but the Huskers let a roll go their way, and the ball will be down to the 9. And the Cowboys, I would think, will be content into just taking a knee and going to the locker room with an outstanding first half, leading 38-0.
I want to remind the fans, and I want to remind, all football people, there's a reason why we play 2 halves of football. Is because things happen. They go into their locker room, one team goes flat, another team gets excited. We see comebacks all the time. And that's what coaches have to guard against when you're up 38-0, that complacency. Another teachable moment for Mike Gundy and his staff.
Robinson was savage behind him. He gets the handoff and stuck. Loss of a yard on the play as Corey McEwen makes the hit. And the fans cheer a negative yardage play for Oklahoma State.
When you're down 38-0, you've got to grab onto something. The opposing team loses a yard, we'll take that.
Could have one more snap if Nebraska chooses not to stop the clock, and I don't think that they will here. Savage will remain the back in the backfield behind Zac Robinson. Shocking first half here in Lincoln, to say the least, with Oklahoma State opening up a 38-point lead. Robinson takes a knee, and both teams will head to the locker room. An impressive first half. Cowboys scored 17 points in the first quarter and added 3 touchdowns in the second quarter to build a huge advantage here at the break, 38-0. And there are some boo birds out in Lincoln after that half of football by the Big Red, trailing 38-0. As it has been a game dominated by the Cowboys on the road. They led 17-0 on the road last week at A&M, and today have nearly more than doubled that, leading 38-0 here in Lincoln. As the Huskers head back into their locker room, you can see a lot of dejected looks on the faces of Nebraska fans today, who I'm sure didn't expect any kind of performance like this at all here today. Let's go down to Joel, standing by with Mike Gundy.
Wow, Coach, what a first half. How close to perfect was that?
Well, offensively, we have to continue to run the ball. They've played pretty well up to this point. And then defensively, we have to stop the run and continue to put pressure on them. We still have another half to play, so our guys got to finish strong.
Yeah, Kellen Winslow was just talking about there's a reason you play the second half and that this will be a good message for your team.
Yeah, it really will. We have to finish the game and play extremely hard because there is another half.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that is Coach Mike Gundy. And by the way, a little perspective, the last time, Greg, that they had a shutout in the Big 12, or at least in the conference, 1995 against Oklahoma.
All right, Joel. Half dominated by the Cowboys. OSU with 357 yards of offense in that first half. The Huskers with 101. 38-0 our score at the half here in Lincoln. It's been all Cowboys. OSU with a huge lead. Back with our halftime next on FSN. Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska Memorial Stadium, where you're at half. Oklahoma State with a 38-0 lead over the Nebraska Cornhuskers, a score that has shocked everyone here in Lincoln. Greg Sharp back with Kellen Winslow, Hall of Fame tight end, San Diego Chargers, and Missouri Tigers. Well, he wants to work that in as well. Kellen, we really thought we were in for a heck of a football game today. 2 evenly matched teams, and in the year of unpredictability in college football, this would go right along with it with a 38-0 score.
I thought I was coming to see a track meet up and down the field by both teams, maybe being decided by a last-second field goal, looking for a good football game. Oklahoma State has done everything right. Nebraska has done nothing right, which usually means in the second half that the team that did nothing right in the first half is going to come out and try to do everything right And this team that did everything right in the first half, in this case Oklahoma State, has to guard against complacency because you're up 38-0. 30 minutes is a long time. Been in college football for a very long time. Seen some very crazy things. You just never know.
Well, some of the first half highlights, and there'll be Oklahoma State highlights, as you can tell by the score, 38-0. And Joel asked Coach Mike Denny, was it a perfect first half? Well, it was darn near that for the Cowboys.
Again, the offensive line for Oklahoma State really took charge of this ball game, giving the quarterback plenty of time, giving the running backs large holes to run through. They're really doing a great job of tying up the defensive line of Nebraska so that the backs get through the hole pretty much in many cases untouched. Right on the offensive, on the line play, no penetration whatsoever. Here, quarterback walks in untouched. Good play tying up the defensive lineman.
Well played first half by Zac Robinson, a young guy who suffered a slight concussion last week at A&M. He got taken out of that game, didn't know how he played. I thought he managed the game perfectly in the first half. He can really run it and throw it.
He's doing a great job in the tempo. He's a young quarterback. And the things that he's doing mostly is taking that play from the sideline, stepping into the huddle, calling the play with confidence. Now, fans, don't take this lightly. Somebody steps into the huddle, they call the play with confidence. It energizes everybody in that huddle. We're going to get this done. Oklahoma State has not punted. Did you hear that? Did not punt in the first half. That's incredible football. Every time they touch the football, they score.
38-0, our score at the half. Oklahoma State with the lead. As we send you to a break, we'll listen in on the Nebraska band, the Big Red Band.
Welcome back to halftime here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Joel Goldberg as Oklahoma State leading Nebraska 38-0. Joined right now by the athletic director of Oklahoma State, Mike Holder. And how much fun has this been for you watching your team just dismantle Nebraska?
Well, it's unbelievable. I've been at Oklahoma State 41 years, and everybody in the Big 8 conference before the Big 12, and now the Big 12 has a lot of respect for Nebraska. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd have a half like this.
Still got a half to play, but to think about this from a historical standpoint, you arrived at Oklahoma State as a student and a golfer in 1966. Last time they won here in Lincoln, 1960.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't realize the significance of it. I thought, oh, Nebraska's coming to town. We got a chance this week. Little did I know that never happened.
So what do you think now about this football program? And obviously defensively it's been a struggle this year, but maybe things starting to come around. How significant is today to be able to do what you're doing?
Well, any win for us on the road is significant right now, but especially in a place like this where we have all the tradition. I looked on the stadium press box, and there's 43 conference championships there. There's 5 national championships, and they've had 280 plus sellouts. So this is a storied program, and to have this kind of success is, kind of unprecedented for Oklahoma State.
Back home in Stillwater, your facility, a lot of work going on with that. Tell us about the stadium.
Well, we've got a great friend of the university, Boone Pickens, and made a generous gift, $165 million. I think that's grown to about $300 million in almost 2 years. And we hope to build some facilities that'll rival this. We don't have the tradition to go with the stadium. We don't have the fan base, but we want to put the infrastructure in and hopefully build on what success we're having now and have some fans come in the future.
And of course, longtime golf coach at Oklahoma State. How much did you enjoy those days and seeing guys like Scott Verplank and Bob Toy come through?
Well, now that I've been an athletic director for 2 years, I can tell you I think the best job in college golf is coaching golf. So any of you golf coaches out there think you want to do something else, don't even think about it.
How much do you talk to Toy and Verplank and some of those former golfers of yours, and how happy you think they are today?
Yeah, they're pretty excited today, especially Scott Verplank. His senior year at OSU, he went to all the away games with the team, so he's a huge fan.
Finally, for the defense to do what they're doing today, and we'll see, Coach was just talking about giving them that message, not letting up in the second half. I don't know if they can pitch the shutout or not, but how crazy will they be going back in Stillwater after this one if you can pull it out?
Well, we'll think about that when the clock hits 0-0-0. Former coach, I don't ever get ahead of myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is spoken like a true coach. Mike, we appreciate the visit.
Thank you very much.
All right, that is a very happy athletic director from Oklahoma State, Mike Holder, his team winning 38-0. We're back after this from Lincoln.
We welcome you back to Lincoln. 38-0 our halftime score. Oklahoma State leads Nebraska as some of the folks have their Halloween garb already on here. Just a couple of weeks away for Halloween. The Cowboys have the perfect color for that with their orange. Big 12 scores today. A couple of games already underway. At least score at the half. The Oklahoma State Cowboys have dominated the first half here on a homecoming day in Nebraska. Greg Sharp along with Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow in a game that has us caught by surprise. We really thought we'd see a heck of a football game here today, but it has been a near perfect first half for the Cowboys as they came with their guns a-blazing today to take on the Cornhuskers.
And it all started with good field position for Oklahoma State. The early miscue by Nebraska on the penalty that gave Oklahoma State possession at the midfield. They go right down the field. They score. They take advantage of that. A missed punt a little bit later. Again, good field position, a short field. Your play calling changes. You have the ability to do what you want to do in the middle of the field. And every time they touch the football, Greg, they score.
Yeah, and if we look at some of the numbers from the first half, they kind of mirror the scoreboard. It's a dominant first half for Oklahoma State with well over 300 yards of offense in 30 minutes of football.
Yeah, you look at Nebraska, 101 total yards, 84 of those on the ground. You think Bill Callahan, you think of the West Coast offense, you think about throwing the football down the field. We wondered about Keller, if he was healthy, why they weren't throwing so much, or maybe Coach Callahan was trying to be patient. At the time it was 17-0. He was being very patient. When it became 31-0, I think he's going to start to put that ball in the air.
Huskers with also 2 turnovers in that first half. 38-0 Cowboys with the lead at the half. We'll be back with the second half from Lincoln. It's a homecoming day, a sad homecoming crowd here in Lincoln. Well, I'm sure it was an interesting halftime chat from Bill Callahan to his Huskers. 38-0 our score at the break. Oklahoma State with the lead. For more thoughts on that first half, let's go down to the sideline and Joel Goldberg.
Well, as we've talked about so much, Greg, a dejected Nebraska side, and on the other side of it, Oklahoma State very fired up. And like Coach Gundy saying, wanting to finish this game strong. Interesting to watch the Huskers just come out of the tunnel and not as much life, understandably, as before from them, from the crowd. And at this point, they've just got to find a way to chip away at it, have a good first series when they go out there defensively and then offensively, and try to build slowly but surely and see if somehow they can get into this and find some kind of victory, or at least small victories, because right now nothing is going their way.
These two teams met last year in Stillwater. Nebraska dominated the first half, and then Oklahoma State dominated the second half and won the game 41-29. It was one of the few times that a Bill Callahan Husker coach team had a lead at a half and didn't hang on. So Oklahoma State trying to make it 2 straight over Nebraska. As you look at some of the plays from last year's game, a fumble there by Zach Taylor, score by the Cowboy defense. So it was a joyous day last year in Stillwater for Oklahoma State. They're trying to duplicate that here on the road today in Lincoln. Mike Gundy brings his club back out for the second half of play here. Keller, you talked about coachable moments, and one thing for Mike Gundy is, you know, he's got to tell his guys, can't be satisfied with one half. We've got a long season still to play. We want to keep building on this. Let's just go play a good, solid, full 60 minutes.
He's going to talk to his team about that, but he's also going to talk to his coaches about that in their play selection and the defenses that they play. Stay aggressive. Let's play our style of football. Let's don't get out of character. Who is Oklahoma State Cowboy football? Let's play that. The score is going to be what it's going to be. We have right now, it should be 0-0. Of course, coaches give that speech a lot at halftime, and of course the people might have grinned a little bit when Coach Gundy said that, but I'll bet you he said the score at second half is 0-0.
Cowboys will get the ball to start the second half. A chance to add to their massive lead here. Been fortunate weather-wise, rain throughout the night here in the Lincoln area, but it's been dry throughout the entire game. I think Joel's probably the happiest by that turn of events today, that we've had just overcast skies. Fairly comfortable day for a homecoming crowd. Again, over 84,000 on hand today to watch this game.
It's normally overcast when I come to Lincoln. I think the only time I came to Lincoln was not overcast. It was a September game, Nebraska versus Louisiana Tech several years ago.
And so the Huskers will kick off for the first time in this game today, and Adi Kunalik hammers one over the back of the end zone line, and so the Cowboys will take over at their 20-yard line.
Well, for Nebraska, certainly some pride at stake here. You're playing in front of a national championship team that came back to celebrate their 10-year anniversary, the '97 Huskers, playing in front of 84,000 fans. At some point, pride needs to kick in for the Huskers, and they need to rise up and play some solid football here in the second half.
And the question has been, where's the fire this week coming into it? And I know the '97 team is wondering where the fire is. They certainly had it when they were here. There can be a lot of questions in the press after this one also.
Robinson with Savage, the one back behind him, as Oklahoma State starts from their own 20. Little boot to the near side for Robinson. Guns, pass caught. Bowman. Gain of about 17 in the play as he's knocked out of bounds by Ricky Tenars. 17-yard pickup. That's just, again, too easy.
Entirely too easy. Comes off the ball well, a little high, gives the outside move to get back into the inside. A lot of receivers, even at the pro level, don't understand the importance of doing that. The little outside move to get, inside move to get back to the outside on your stem, and then break it off and the ball's in the air.
1st and 10 from the 37. Robinson. Savage. Rokta in the backfield, knocked down by Dixon. Kevin Dixon.
Trying to go back to that point about Bowman. As high as he was coming off the line of scrimmage like that, if I'm a secondary coach or defensive coordinator and I see that, I'm going to put somebody in front of him. Until he proves me he can get off of that bump, I'm going to put somebody in front of him because he's coming off so high.
Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12. There's a note that the 38 points that the Cowboys scored were the most ever given up at home by a Cornhusker football team. 2nd and 12. Robinson to Savage. Got a hole. Cracking some helmets at around the 44-yard line. A pickup of 9 on the play. Grigsby and Green come out on the Husker tackle. It'll be 3rd and 3 now for the Cowboys.
Savage is a good inside, hard inside runner. Just takes the ball over to the gap, sees it, hits it. Arm tackle cannot bring him down because of his center of gravity so low to the ground. He's able to fight it off, being as strong as he is.
Cowboys 5 of 6 on 3rd down conversion so far in this game. They've got 3rd and 3 here. Robinson in the gun. Twins to the far side. Savage off to his left. Play action. Being chased. Incomplete. And the Husker defense, for the first time in this game, Kellen, going to force Oklahoma State to punt.
And the knowledgeable Nebraska fans know it. Moral victories, this is one of them.
Matt Fudge, averaging 43 yards a boot, will be out there for the Cowboys. Courtney Grigsby.
I hoped he warmed up because he didn't do anything in the first half. Hope he doesn't pull a muscle in his first kick. It's a cool day.
Grigsby to zone 10. Punt partially blocked, deflected. It takes a huge Oklahoma State bounce, though, and the result's going to be terrific for the Cowboys. It's been their day. When you have that, a deflected punt that ends up going over 40 yards, it's your day.
What has it been, 20 years since Oklahoma State won or beat Nebraska here, I should say, in Lincoln, about 20 years. And I'm a person who believes in the odds. Over a period of time, eventually you've got to beat that team. You've got to beat that team. Kick a little bit out of rhythm, takes his time. I'm not sure if the ball was blocked or his leg was blocked from finishing his follow through. But again, things go in Oklahoma State's way, and that ball continues to roll.
Take it down to the sideline, and Joe Goldberg.
Well, you know, that stop there on 3rd down, forcing the punt, was the first time I've seen good emotion from the Nebraska sidelines all game. Guys pounding their chests, hands up in the air, and even some smiles. So maybe a little something to build on. And then what Kellen was talking about there with the punter being a little bit cold, I think the guy that's been warming up the most on the sidelines has been Oklahoma State's kicker, and the guy that's been warming up the most on the Nebraska sideline, the punter, and then the other guys haven't gotten any action.
Joel and Kellen, that was a 45-yard punt off the deflection, and I would say 20 to 25 of that's on a roll.
In golf terms, it's a knockdown punt. You take a half swing, yeah. You don't finish all the way through.
A little low stinger, a little 5-iron, low stinger.
Keep it below the wind.
Well, the Huskers do get the stop and get the ball back at their own 11, down 38 to nothing to Oklahoma State. Mentioned that the Cowboys, after today, get their next 3 at home. So they have a real chance to kind of make some noise in that Big 12 South. And as we mentioned at the top of this program, for one of these teams, this could be a turning point for their season. And for Oklahoma State, they've taken advantage.
They have taken advantage, and not only for the season, but also for the next 2 or 3 years of their program. Because now Oklahoma State's going to be able to go into the same house where Nebraska is recruiting the same players, and they're going to be able to say, what we did to Nebraska at home during homecoming, and that's going to be an advantage in the recruiting game. So this game not only has effect today or in this year's standings, but in the next 2 or 3 years for Oklahoma State's football program.
Lucky's the eye back on 1st and 10 from the 11. He gets the handoff. He's got a seam. And a first down. An 11-yard pickup on the play for the Big 12's leading rusher, Marlon Lucky. Andre Sexton, the safety, makes the tackle.
Huge hole. You're going to see a great view of Nebraska coming off the football and finally moving Oklahoma State. See that movement? 3-on-2. That's always that mismatch. 3 offensive linemen on 2 defenders. You're going to get movement and you're going to get action.
Lucky comes out. Quentin Castillo in for Nebraska on 1st and 10 for the 22. Castillo gets it. He's got a hole to run through. He picks up 9. So the big boys up front for Nebraska have come out with a little fire here to start the second half. Price and Woods combined on the Cowboy tackle.
No attitude by Nebraska's offensive line. Another big gaping hole. Castillo is able to get up in there and pick up 9 yards for the required 10. The fans appreciate it. They know what's taking place. But you got to make up a lot of points running, though.
Castillo, big hole again. He has a first down. Lowers his head. Pushing forward, gains nearly 10. Price and Sexton. There's a little fire from a Nebraska player, and it's coming from a true freshman.
Wait until that young man grows up. This is just power running. I have the ability. You're in my way. Boom. You notice he didn't drop his head. He dropped his shoulders. And that's the one thing that you hear a lot of young coaches talk to players about. Drop your head. He dropped his shoulder. He kept his head up. That's what you want to do. Keep that head in cement. Drop that shoulder.
1st and 10, Nebraska at their 41. They've gone 30 yards so far on this drive that began on their 11. Play action. Keller back. Time. Nowhere to throw it. He'll go down. It's a sack by Jeremy Neathon. That has to be a coverage sack because there was time for him to step up and look. There also is a flag down on the play.
One legitimate receiver downfield for Nebraska. So it's a 1-person route. So you had 2 or 3 defensive backs for Oklahoma State covering 1 receiver. Yes, that is a coverage sack.
See what our officials tell us here. One of the few penalties of the game on the Cowboys. This will be the 15-yard variety and move the chains.
Keller trying to get something downfield. He's locked in on the receiver. Slides to the outside. Nothing there, and there's the face mask.
Moves the ball to the Cowboy 44. Castillo is the eye back. Gets the handoff. He's got some room. Makes a miss.
Oh!
Almost made a man miss. Good trip up tackle by Lacey, the corner.
And that's where you want to get a big running back. For your defensive backs out there, that's where you want to get a big running back. Down by the ankles, not up by the shoulders. Breaking to the outside, a similar run he just had. Same defensive back. Oh, he kind of slipped into that one. Okay, he didn't dive for his ankles. He just had to reach out and grab him. When he makes it miss, he's off to the races.
Pickup of 7 on first down. Castillo stays in. Gets the handoff. Runs into the line, breaks a tackle, squirts forward and gains a yard. That's an effort run. Derek Burton, the left end, makes the tackle for Oklahoma State. That could have been a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, it could have been. Just trying to bounce it to the outside. He gets to the outside again, just outruns his blocking protection. Missed the hole. You hear coaches talk about that a lot. You missed the hole, you missed the hole. Again, vision and ability to get to the hole. Some guys can see the hole and they can't get to it. Some guys can get to the hole but they can't see it.
3rd and 2. Eye with Castillo, the eye. Gets the handoff. Plowing forward, has the first down to the 33. Tongatea makes the stop for the Cowboys. And Nebraska moves the chains again. Pretty effective drive they have going here. For Bill Callahan, their first time to have the football here in the second half. Lucky back into the Husker backfield. Stretch play. Lucky. Nowhere to go. Reverses course and goes down. Nice play by Patrick Levine, leading tackler on this Cowboy team. Another player out of the Houston area for OSU.
Oklahoma State anticipating on first down the slant play. All they do is slant out to that side to move it over there, and they run the linebackers right out there. There were nowhere to go. After a while, you got to think of something different on first down just to give them a different feel.
Been waiting for a little more play action for Nebraska, as effective as they've run the ball.
Well, on first down is the best time to do it.
Now it's 2nd down and 14. And off Lucky. He's got a hole. Slides to the 28-yard line. A gain of 9 on the play. Ricky Price, the free safety, along with Sexton, the strong, make the tackle.
It's all about penetration. This time Oklahoma State doesn't get any penetration. A good move by Lucky to find the hole and then accelerate. Slipped on his own accord. He's trying to cut back and make more things happen.
We're about to go under 9 minutes, 3rd quarter. Husker first drive of the 2nd half. They've taken it from their own 11 to the Cowboy 28. They have 3rd and 5. Castillo, the one back, takes this pitch from Keller. Trying to get around the corner. Can't do it. Shoulder pad tackle made by Donovan Woods. After a gain of 2, it'll be 4th down and 3 for the Big Red.
It'll be interesting to see if college football adopts the NFL rule about the collar tackle. I think it would be a good adoption to have. Again, getting to the outside, thought there was more there. The horse collar tackle. Thank you very much. I thought there was more there for him as he turned upfield. But again, young running back still learning the timing of when to take that hold.
Lyden Murtha, the right tackle, helped off the field after that play. Nebraska going to go for it on 4th and 3. Keller back, sets, throws, pass incomplete. Off the hands of Purify. Front of the coverage of Lacey, and the Cowboys will take over on downs. It's the 2nd time that Nebraska has been stopped on downs in this game.
Very simple slant route. Purify gets inside of it, just a little bit behind it, just a little bit, but again, a catchable ball.
Time out of the field, 8:25 left to go, 3rd quarter. Cowboys still pitching the shutout here in Lincoln, 38-0. Well, he was an animal on the college level. Kellen Winslow, All-American tight end at the University of Missouri. Look at that stride, finding the space. Oh, that's a good thing. Greg Sharp along with the Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow. Man, those were some good times.
Well, every time I see that one clip, I just wonder if I'm going to catch the ball or not every time over and over. Those were good days at the University of Missouri. We had some played with some great guys over the 4 years that I was there, some great memories, and I'm happy to see them doing well again.
Big game tonight down in Norman against OU.
Yeah, if we get that one, that would be a program changer for us, just like it is for Oklahoma State here today.
Yeah, it's coming up on Fox tonight, 5:30 kickoff time. Back here in Lincoln, Oklahoma State with the ball for the 2nd time this half. With a misdirection play, gains about 4 yards on that play. And Cowboys, after stopping Nebraska on downs, and I think, Mike Gundy's probably just want to run some clock here a little bit. Shorten this game. Pretty well put this one out of reach. You don't want to get anybody hurt, but you also don't want to stymie any momentum that you might take into next week's home game with K-State.
No, you don't. You want to, keep the rhythm going. You want to execute, and you want to be aggressive in your play calling.
2nd and 6 from the 30. Play action for Robinson. Guns caught. Pettigrew, the tight end, with a nice catch up near midfield. Feet knocked out of him by Ben Eisenhart.
Just like that, you want to be aggressive. Coming off your offensive package with this play action, that run inside, step throw, and a great job by the quarterback on a timing route. That back foot hit, the ball's coming forward. He didn't wait for the receiver to show, he threw the football.
1st and 10 from midfield. Savage. Short gain on 1st down. Andy Pulaski makes a stop for the Huskers.
Now, you want to talk to your team about eating up some of the clock. You want to tell the running backs and the receivers, stay in bounds. You don't have to go out of bounds, and you want to eat the clock up that way. Of course, in the college game, they stop the clock to reset the chains, so you don't get as much time as you do in the pro game. but you want to tell your players, stay in bounds.
2nd and 7 from the Cornhusker 47. Robinson of the shotgun. Twins to the far side of the formation. Back to throw. Looks, throws, caught. Stepping out of bounds is Bowman at about the 33. Zach Bowman makes the tackle as Adarius makes his 5th catch of the game.
You watch Bowman and the way he runs the routes. Again, just a little bit high, but a great sell of the ball, of the route going down the field. Looking back at the quarterback like he's anticipating it and then breaking it off. That's good coaching.
Go Cowboys, number 1.
Sell the route.
Robinson stays in the shotgun, the sophomore from Littleton, Colorado. Operating from the Nebraska 33. Keeps it himself. Picks up 8 on first down. Corey McEwen there for the Husker tackle. Well, it was a real bit of news in Stillwater when Zac Robinson was elevated to the starting quarterback spot. Bobby Reed was a year older than Zac. Tremendous athlete, a lot of great skills, and Mike Gundy just thought that Zac was playing at a little bit higher level and made the switch, and boy, his performance today has been terrific.
And that's what you pay coaches for, to evaluate talent, to develop talent, and put the best players on the football field. And Mike Gundy, should be applauded for the decision he made to go with this young man. He's done a great job for him.
Savage up the middle, near a first down. Most people will tell you that Bobby Reed's the better athlete than Zac Robinson, but Mike Gundy felt like the better fit was Zac Robinson. Boy, the way he played on the road last week in Stillwater before getting hurt, College Station before getting hurt, and the way he's played here today, it's hard to argue why he shouldn't be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's a good move. It's a difficult decision to make when you have such a great physical athlete. But sometimes coaches just get so hung up on numbers and athleticism that they forget about production, they forget about leadership, and those qualities, innate qualities that you can't coach and you can't teach.
1st and 10, as it was enough for a first down for the Cowboys. Savage again off the left side, picks up about 8 on the play. Pierre Allen there to make the tackle. You look throughout the Big 12, we have some tremendous sophomore quarterbacks. Robinson here at Oklahoma State. Missouri Tigers, Chase Daniels, a junior. KU starting Todd Reese, he's a sophomore. Colt McCoy at Texas is a sophomore. Josh Freeman at K-State is a sophomore. So there's a lot of good young quarterbacks in this Big 12 conference, and Robinson doesn't take a back seat to any of those guys. He's right there with them. Savage off the left side, first.
Oh, what a move.
Finally pulled down at the 5.
Oh, did you see that move in the hole? Did you see that? You can't teach that.
Not coachable.
That came from above. Only God can give you that type of ability. Hits the hole right here, makes his cut, stutter, then accelerate away from it. Oh, that.
Beautiful.
It's a thing of beauty to watch. Just hang in there and just freezes the defensive back and accelerates away from him.
Also made that arm shift. Got the ball away from the defense, got it shifted to that left arm. 1st and goal, Cowboys.
Yeah. I was told that's a Barry Sanders type move. I saw Barry do that once or twice in his career.
Boys, Oklahoma State had some backs. Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders. There's some terrific running backs in their history. Potter makes a tackle on Robinson that time. A loss on the play back to the 6.
And that's
2nd and goal.
And when you have a program that has a tradition of turning out athletes at a certain position, you're going to draw those athletes again in your recruiting class because they want to follow in that legacy. They want to be a part of that.
Tatum Bell's the more recent back out of the Cowboy program. It's found success on Sundays. 2nd and goal here. Ball to 6 for OSU. Play clock running down. In fact, the Cowboys will call timeout here with 4:20 left, 3rd quarter.
Timeout. Oklahoma State. Their first time out of the half.
38-0. Cowboys with the lead. That was our score at the half. Neither team has scored, but here the Cowboys with a serious threat with 2nd and goal at the 6. Mike Gundy, 3rd year as this Cowboy head coach. 14-16 is his overall record. He's only been able to win 3 road games since being the Cowboy head coach. And as Kellen, you mentioned the first half, only one of those has been a Big 12 road win. So this is going to be a huge feather in his cap and for his program to kind of solidify with the guys that we are going in the right direction.
When you take a look at your schedule, whether you're playing 11-game or 12-game schedule, let's say you're playing 11 games. You have 6 at home, 5 on the road. You want to get all 6 at home. that you can. You want to win those games. If I get 5 of the 6 at home, I'm still sitting okay. If I get all 6 and I can get 3 of my 5 on the road, I've had a great year. And if you can't win on the road, you've got a problem in this conference.
Cowboys came into today second the conference in rushing the football at 234 yards a game. Well, they've helped themselves out there up to 271. They've more than doubled Nebraska with their 132 effort in this game. The real difference will be here, the passing yardage. What a difference there.
17 yards on a West Coast offense. There's something behind the lack of throwing the ball down the field. There's something going on. We may find out about it, later this week or something in a post-game conference, but a Bill Callahan team does not throw for 17 yards.
Let's send it down to the sidelines and Joel Goldberg.
Well, to continue the thought, guys, 3 home games in a row, Texas and Kansas State, Texas, and Kansas as well. So that's going to be really big for them, although, as will always be the case in Oklahoma State, there's one team they want to beat more than anybody, and that'll end the year at Oklahoma. But not to get ahead of themselves. They know that things are going well in a bowl game perhaps in their future. Yeah,
Boomer Sooner will be that last game of the year right after Thanksgiving. And this is just, again, it was for both teams, a real kind of a season-turning game. And for the Cowboys, now to go back home with 3 at home is going to be huge for them. They've got 2nd and goal here at the 6 of Nebraska. Savage, the one back behind Robinson. They pitch it back to him. He may be looking to throw. Lofts a pass. Knocked away, incomplete. Intended for Pettigrew. Murillo makes the stop.
Oh, running backs. Running backs love that play. Watch it. He can't get that ball in his hand fast enough as he tries to sell it and pull it down. And you wonder why he throws into triple coverage? Because there's nobody else to throw it to, and he's got to get rid of it. So just throw it up and let the big tight end go for it.
He's thrown a touchdown pass this year, so trying to make it 2, but it was swatted away by the Huskers. Now it's 3rd and goal for OSU. Robinson in the shotgun. Now he'll slide under center. Savage. Nowhere to go. Nebraska slams the door on that play. Potter and Tier Green make the tackle. OSU will have to settle for 3.
Huge hit here as the audible comes in from the sideline. Does a great job getting his team set up, and Nebraska sitting right there in the hole waiting for it. And finally a big hit by the Cornhuskers.
And a field goal attempt for Jason Ricks. He was good for 21 yards in the first half. This will be a 24-yard attempt from the far hash. Snap down. Kick is up. No good. He missed it off to the left. And that draws a round of applause from.
And you see Mike Gundy, you're wondering what is he upset about? Nebraska had 12 players on the field and 1 ran off late. You can't break the huddle with 12.
Should have been a substitution violation. Let's pull in Joel. Halu fights forward for about 4 yards on that play.
Not allowing Oklahoma State. We'll do a little compare and contrast. Oklahoma State not scoring is big for Nebraska because Nebraska can hopefully say we shut them out in the second half. There's some momentum going into next week's ball game. Oklahoma State on the other side is going, we've got to learn how to finish. We've got to get that ball in the end zone. We're down in the red zone. We've got to get the ball in the end zone.
Halu off the right side, picking his way forward for a couple. All the attention in Lincoln Kellen has been on Nebraska's defense and their deficiencies. But this is the 2nd straight week that the offense has failed to get into the end zone yet. They get 2 field goals in Columbia last week. Now we're deep in the 3rd quarter. They don't have any points on the board right now. That now adds to the concern list up here in Lincoln that the offense has gone stagnant.
Indeed, I'm sure a lot of fans, I would never ask this, but I'm sure a lot of fans would ask, you see Bill Callahan's play sheet. There's a whole lot of words on that piece of paper, but he's running the same plays.
3rd down and 3 from the 27. Play action. Here comes the blitz. Halu throws a screen. Halu catches a screen from Keller and has a first down up near midfield. Sexton makes a tackle, but that was a good play call against that defense of OSU.
The old chess game. The old chess match going between the offensive and defensive coordinator. We know you like to run the ball. You're going to run it, so I'm going to give an all-out blitz. Hey, I'm going to hit you with a little screen right here. Take the look the quarterback takes on this play. Oh, you know, the tackle's okay. What really hurts is that slam when your head hits the ground.
Neathon, the linebacker, makes the hit. Here's Castillo off the right side, trying to break a tackle. Does, fighting forward near a first down. Donovan Woods with the hit for Oklahoma State.
That's a good-looking prospect right there.
Boy.
Just a good-looking prospect. He gets better with every carry. And this is his type of offense, that I-back offense. Bringing it to the outside, his lineman, you know, he's just going to get better and better every ball game.
Second and short for Nebraska. Castillo stays in at the I-back spot. Gets the handoff off the right side as a first down and more. Castillo 30, cuts back down there the 20-yard line. 21-yard run for Castillo. Woods makes the Cowboy tackle.
You know, he's got a little Mike Rozier in him, you know. Maybe 25 pounds lighter, but a little Mike Rozier in him. The ability to get to the outside. Nice hip swivel for a guy that big. Sometimes you see a big running back, they're a little stiff. He's got a nice hip swivel ability to change direction.
First and 10, Huskers to the 21. A second time this quarter they've had the ball in this position of the field. Halu is the I-back. He gets the handoff right side down to the 15, again a 6 on first down. Lacey makes the Cowboy tackle. Well, the fans here in Lincoln, if they were still hanging onto their balloons, hoping that they can let them go here in a few minutes. This Husker offense can find pay dirt.
But you got to give the fans credit. In most places, this place will be emptying out.
Halu remains the I-back. Second and 5. Stretch play. Halu to the 12. It'll be third and short. Maurice Cummins makes the OSU tackle. Young man out of Rosebud, Texas.
It's amazing the number of players that the University of Nebraska is able to get out of the state of Texas. You think they own a condo down there or something? The coaches are down there so much in Houston area.
They might. Castillo, the I-back on 3rd and 2. He gets the handoff right side. It's stood up and stuffed. Ball pops out as it was Nathan Peterson. We've called his name a couple of times with some big plays for the Cowboy defense. Nebraska keeps the ball, but now they'll have 4th down and 2 from the 13-yard line.
Situational blitz by Oklahoma State. 3rd and short. They've got a pretty good idea what play they're going to run. They pick a gap and they blitz it and they guess right. Tendencies by other teams, if you study long enough, you can pick them up.
4th and 3. I'm not sure they'll get this play off before the end of the quarter. Keller under center. And it does end the 3rd quarter before they get the snap. So we'll have a 4th down play for Nebraska inside the Cowboy 15-yard line as we have finished 3 quarters here in Lincoln. It's been a great day for Mike Gundy and the Oklahoma State Cowboys as they take a 38-0 lead to the 4th period on a homecoming day here in Nebraska. Zac Robinson, good day. Good day for the Cowboys offense. Defense still pitching the shutout. Glad you joined us here on FSN for some college football Big 12 style here today in Lincoln, Nebraska. Tough day for the home folks. They trail Oklahoma State 38-0 as we get set to begin the 4th quarter. A shutout at home for Nebraska. That's rare. How rare? 1968, the last time they were shut at home. K-State beat them 12-0. Wildcats were quarterbacked that day, Kellen, by Len Dickey.
who went on to have a pretty good NFL career.
Yes, he did. I just saw Lynn Dickey at some function we were at together not too long ago. Still looking good. Had a great career at Kansas State and also with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys hoping to become the next one to do that here in Lincoln, but Nebraska has it in the red zone with a 4th down and 3. Nebraska's been terrific this year in the red zone. They were 22 of 25 coming into this game in the red zone, including 17 touchdowns, but they were stopped in the first half of the 10. They'll have to convert a 4th and 3 here from the 13-yard line and keep this drive alive.
And having a goose egg on the scoreboard at the end of regulation play is demoralizing at home, especially when you add the layer of homecoming.
See what kind of play call for the Huskers here to start the 4th quarter on 4th and 3. Castillo, the I-back. Play action. Keller looking, sets, throws, caught, touchdown. J.B. Phillips wipes that 0 off the scoreboard with a 12-yard catch.
Is that the tight end? Tight end's always open, Greg.
I've heard that.
Always open. There's a defensive man right in front of him, and he still went up and was able to pull the ball down. And there go the balloons.
Some of them still had the balloons, didn't they? Faithfully holding them on. So Keller to J.B. Phillips. Phillips' first touchdown of the season. Sam Keller's 10th touchdown pass of the year. And for Nebraska, their first touchdown in over 107 minutes of football.
Play action. Keller does a great job of looking off, going to the flat, then coming down the middle. Again, Oklahoma State's right in position to make a play, but Keller throws it up high to give the tight end a chance to go up and get it. Just over the outstretched arms of the defender.
So Nebraska avoids the shutout and their first touchdown in a couple of games to make it 38-7. Pretty nice drive, 80-yard drive, 9 plays. Most of it on the ground, but a pretty good grab by Phillips for the score. Just 5 seconds into the 4th quarter, and the Nebraska band finally has something to play.
Now tomorrow when Nebraska looks at this film, at least they'll have something positive to look at. Some coaches, they take a game like this and they'll just throw it away, put it in a trash can, have the coaches look at it but won't show it to the players, and try to get their mind back on more positive things and get ready for next week's opponent. If they choose to show the game film, they'll show that drive.
Nebraska on the board, first play of the 4th quarter. Devereaux and Hunter will be deep for Oklahoma State. Is Adi Kunalik, kickoff specialist for Nebraska, will have it teed up here. Cowboy pep band made the trip up from Stillwater for this game. It's great to hear from Mike Holder at halftime with Joel, the athletic director for Oklahoma State. Longtime golf coach at OSU. Boy, he had some terrific players come through there, guys who made some good checks on the PGA Tour. Bob Tway, Scott Verplank, some of those names played for Mike Holder, OSU.
Those are pretty good golfers. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Oklahoma State known for their football, their wrestling program,
yeah.
their golf program, and baseball.
Baseball's been very good down through the years. Ball hammered into the end zone. Devereaux will go to a knee. Cowboys will take over at their 20-yard line. Oklahoma State yet to score here in the second half, but those 38 first half points look big. And in fact, OSU scoring more than 40 against Nebraska is very rare. The only time they've ever scored over 40 was when Mike Gundy was the quarterback back in 1988. As they put 42, they lost that game, by the way. That was a team that had a guy by the name of Barry Sanders on it as well.
You can put up 42
and not win.
And not win. And I think it was the same year they played BYU in the
Holiday Bowl.
In the Holiday Bowl, and it was just 50-51. I think it was the final.
Hunter, nowhere to go. Nebraska a little
revitalized after that score. Pelosi makes the tackle for the Husker defense.
You know, I talked earlier about Nebraska watching this film, and also Oklahoma State's going to have to watch this film also. But just good penetration. It always destroys a running play. It always destroys a passing play. Play the game on their side of the line of scrimmage.
Robinson still in at quarterback. Hunter is in the backfield with him. Hand off to Hunter, and again he's buried in the backfield. Loses 3 more yards. It'll be 3rd and long. I think Nebraska's been given a shot of adrenaline.
All it takes is one play to really get a team fired up and get excited about what's going on. Again, Oklahoma State's trying to, be a little cutesy about what they're trying to do. Looking for the audible coming in from the sideline. And Nebraska just gets the penetration and stops the play.
3rd and 14 for the Cowboys at their own 16. Robinson back, sets up the screen. Hunter's got it. 20. 25, first down. Across the 40. McEwen throws him down at the 45, and a big play for Oklahoma State. A screen pass, and they convert a 3rd and 14.
Everybody knew he threw a shoe. Did you see that? He threw a shoe. It was like a trotter at the track. He just threw a shoe coming down the track. It was a great call. I think most golf experts know, football experts know in the third down and long, here comes a screen. You know it's coming. They executed it, got the lineman out in front. Big block there downfield to spring in and get him up the field.
Robinson back to throw. Out in the flat, nearly threw it away. Trying to hit Savage. Nebraska's defenders had turned their head. They might have had a pick. Side. Pierre Allen out there.
Trying to come off the play action / option / throw the ball down the field, and he went to his 4th option, which was to throw the ball into the flat to Savage. Again, well executed offense coming off the same look over and over and over, different plays.
2nd and 10. Hunter in the backfield behind Robinson. Hunter gets the handoff. McEwen makes the tackle, no gain. Eisenhart came up in support.
Now, the good thing about this ball game from Oklahoma State is they're up 38-7. And after this replay, I'll get to that point. Again, penetration on the inside. Nebraska now is playing like the first half. They played a yard to 2 yards on their side of the line of scrimmage. Now, in these last 2 drives, they're starting to play on Oklahoma State's side of the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10. They just converted a 3rd and 14 to the Cowboys. 3rd and long again. Robinson in the gun. Plenty of time. Out in the flat. Slipping a tackle is Hunter. Not enough for a first down. About 2 yards shy as Kevin Nixon makes the tackle. Boy, he's slippery. Kendall Hunter is.
Give him the leg and take it away. A sign of a good running back. Eason dropping back, surveying opportunities down the field, just not there. Might have come off the ball a little bit too early. Gets the ball in the flat and just let the back in open space make a play for you.
Nate Swift is the deep man for Nebraska as Fodge to punt it away. Remember the last time Nebraska nearly had a block. Then the ball ended up trickling downfield for a 45-yard effort. Let's see if they come after him again here. Set for the return. Good high kick. Swift makes a catch. Across the 20 and then gang tackled by a bunch of Cowboys.
38-7. Cowboys with the lead. They're in control.
11:26 left to go in this one.
Homecoming day. Tough homecoming day here in Lincoln. 38-7 our score. 11:26 left to go in this game as we welcome you back to Lincoln, Nebraska. One of the guys we focused on at the top of our broadcast was Darius Bowman, the Oklahoma State Cowboy. Had a terrific game last week against the Aggies of Texas A&M, and he's playing well again here today. Kellen, this is a very talented young man.
A long, rangy individual, great body control. Stay able to adjust your body, stay on his feet and make the catch. Have the presence of mind to stay in bounds and get the ball in the end zone. And some guys catch the ball and get downfield. Others have a nose for the end zone. He likes to score.
There his numbers from today. 5 catches, 89 yards. Huskers come back out. They scored on their last drive. Take over here at their own 20. Castillo, the back behind Sam Keller, and he gets the handoff. Short gain on first down. Patrick Levine there to make the tackle. About to go under 11 minutes left in this game. Nebraska will be home again next week, taking on A&M. And then they'll head to Austin to take on Texas. So they play their 3 South opponents in consecutive weeks. Second down and 9. Big hole for Halo. He has a first down up to the 34. Tell you what, 2 very different true freshman running backs for Nebraska. And Castillo, the big fellow, and then Halo, the little quicker scat back.
Thunder and lightning, a little change of pace there. Offensive line again doing a great job. You see the center just ride the nose man out of the play. And that's great running by the back. Get to the line, be patient. When you see it, take it. Give those big uns up front a chance to do their job.
Halo remains on the field. Sean Hill in motion, and there's movement up front. This will cost the Huskers 5. As it was Hickman and Nix on the left side of the line.
False start, 67 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
He was just a little anxious to do his job, that's all. Let's get it on. We're trying to win this ball game.
You know, Kendall, it's interesting. We talked about Nebraska and the lack of their passing game. Only Sam Keller 6 of 13 coming into this game. Oklahoma State was last in the Big 12 in pass defense, and yet the Huskers have been primarily a running team here today. As Keller hands it off to Halo, trapped in the backfield and goes down. He'll lose a couple of yards.
Ball carries on number 10, Roy Halo.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just makes you kind of scratch your head a little bit. You know, Oklahoma State, they're being aggressive. They've got, the safeties up, the linebackers are up, penetration stops the play, and there's that swarm that we've seen today from Oklahoma State, but we have not seen from Nebraska. Swarming around the ball carrier. Somebody clogs up the lane, others swarm to the ball.
Keller in the shotgun on 2nd and 18. Looking downfield, throws, pass caught. Purify slips a tackle, and he has a first down up near midfield. Finally, Nebraska gets the ball downfield for a nice positive play.
They get the ball downfield, and this is one of my criticisms of the West Coast offense about throwing the ball outside so much and not down the middle of the field. Good route by Purify to get the ball up the field after the catch. And again, Keller just a little drop of the arm there to get the ball upfield. Sometimes there's a tendency to sail when that happens, but they completed the pass.
Back to throw again. In and out of the hands, picked off. Nice grab by Roderick Johnson on the deflection, and the Cowboys get their 3rd turnover of the game and will take over near midfield.
My point of throwing the ball so much to the outside, it's almost as if you take the quarterback and you limit him to one side of the field or the other. When you go back and you chart this ball game for Nebraska, you will see no passes down between the hashes or close to the hashes in the middle of the field.
That is a nice grab by Johnson, and there's a dejected look by Sam Keller.
Yeah, just wondering what he's got to do to get things going.
Off the hands of the intended receiver. And we talked about Tim Beckman, the young defensive coordinator, off the top in this game, coming from Ohio State, where he was the defensive backfield coach a year ago on a terrific Buckeye team that made it to the BCS title game. First year, though, as a coordinator, big adjustment. His guys, their heart's been questioned a little bit by Cowboy fans, but they have played terrific here today.
They have played outstanding football. They've gotten the breaks early. They've taken advantage of the breaks, which is important. But today, in my opinion, they weren't tested by Nebraska. They were not. Nebraska has not thrown the ball down the field in the middle to kind of spread them out. We've seen a couple passes go to the outside deep. So when you're sitting there and you're watching this ball game, future teams look at Nebraska and go, we don't have to cover the middle of the field, so we can cheat and slide over. And it just kind of restricts what you can do as an offensive unit when you're only using a portion of the football field.
Let's go see what's on Joel Goldberg's mind.
Well, I was just poking around down here on the Oklahoma State sideline, just asking some of their fans and some of the regulars that travel with the team how big of a win this is. We know how big it is, but the biggest win since when? And without a doubt, they say, and they said that the win against Nebraska was big last year, but 2002 against who else? Oklahoma. They haven't beaten them since then. And we mentioned that they'll have them at the end of the year, of course, later on. And the last time that they've only given up 7 points in a Big 12 game was the start of the 2004 Big 12 season, a 36-7 victory over Iowa State.
All right, thanks, Joel. Yeah, they've been few and far between recently for the Cowboys on the road. Here's Savage. Not much room to run there. Short gain of the play. Pierre Allen and Ndamukong Suh make the tackle for the Big Red. 38-7 our score. OSU, they led 38-0 at the half. We've only had one score in the second half. That was a Nebraska touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter. Yeah, I want to remind you, big game coming up tonight on FSN as Missouri travels to Norman to take on Oklahoma.
I feel the upset. Do you feel the upset?
I'm not sure, Kellen.
Okay.
Zac Robinson breaks up the middle. Nice gain for the quarterback for the Cowboys as he picks up a first down out of the 31. Tierre Green makes a tackle. I think it's going to be tough. I think Oklahoma's really good at home. This will be a big challenge for the Missouri Tigers. And you wonder a little bit, Kellen, everybody got all pumped up about Missouri's win over Nebraska, but after seeing this today, you kind of wonder, well, how good is Missouri?
How good is that win? On that last play for Oklahoma State, again, another option off the same motion. Give the defense the same look, and they run 5 or 6 plays off of that one move.
Just rolled under 8 minutes left in this game. 38-7 Cowboys with the lead. Robinson hands it off to Hunter. And he gets slammed down. Good penetration that time by Nebraska. I do think Nebraska can take something from this second half defensively. I think they've played much better. Their guys up front have made plays and have won the battle at the line of scrimmage in half number 2.
They have. They're getting off the blocks. In the first half, we just saw Oklahoma State dominate the front 4, the front 7 of Nebraska. I mean, having their arms tied up inside, not being able to reach out, and the holes look huge for the running back because there was no arms flailing in the way.
Second down and 10 for the Cowboys at the Husker 33. Throw it out in the flat. Bowman makes a catch down the sideline, picks up a first down. As Adarius Bowman gets his 6th grab of the day.
The great thing about this offense led by Larry Fedora is that they find a lot of different ways to get the ball to their big playmaker Bowman. This time just in the slot, sliding up to the outside. It's a nice, easy throw for the quarterback. He gets a chance out of the shotgun just to set his feet and make the throw right on the line.
1st and 10 for the 21 for the Pokes. Hunter, the back. Robinson back. Keeps it. Falls forward for about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Oklahoma State doing a good job of just running their offense. They're eating up clock in the scheme of running their own offense. A lot of times teams get up on a big lead and they lose their character, or they get out of sync, I should say. Oklahoma State has stayed in sync and continued to run their offense.
2nd and 9. Robinson. Hand off in the backfield. Hunter. And a flag comes out. Might have a hold here. Hey, we talked about the quarterback switch at OSU about a month ago from Bobby Reed to Zac Robinson. 38-7, 4th quarter. As a coach, when would you put in Bobby Reed? Give him some snaps in this game.
10-yard penalty.
I think after this drive, it would be a good time to do that. Just kind of remind him he is a member of this football team, that you value his contribution to what's going on, and also to reward him and say, okay, what have you been doing in practice? Have you been keeping your head in the ball game? And I should make the point, if he's done what he's supposed to be doing in practice, and if he's accepted his demoted in the spirit of being a team player, and this is best for the team right now, I'm going to accept it, but I'm going to be a competitor and try to get back on the field.
That's a good look at Bobby Reed on the sideline. That was a holding penalty on Oklahoma State. Robinson out of the shotgun here on 2nd and 19. Little shovel pass. Savage keeps his footing. Flag comes out and gets near a first down, but this one might come part of the way back with a illegal block downfield. Let's send you down on the field, Joel Goldberg.
Well, guys, Zac Robinson obviously having another nice day for them, and he's got that interesting bloodlines of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in him. His mother was a cheerleader at OSU. His dad went to Oklahoma, and his uncle way back when was actually Pistol Pete, the mascot.
How about that?
Pistol Pete's happy today, by the way.
Well, I would think, and I tell you what, that's a pretty cool deal to be able to tell people that you actually are related to someone who was Pistol Pete. That's a cool deal.
Yeah, and I don't know how one becomes Pistol Pete, but I'll tell you that Pistol Pete and the cheerleaders and the band and the folks that have come down have not stopped dancing and having a good time, and understandably so.
So they have enjoyed their trip north this time. So another penalty on OSU wipes out a nice game by Savage and a nice effort by Dantrell. It's still 2nd down. 5.5 left in this game. This is Savage off the left side. He's got a hole. He might go. Touchdown, Cowboys.
22, Dantrell Savage, the ball carrier. Savage scoring for the Cowboys.
And over the 40-point mark for Oklahoma State today here in Lincoln.
Speed kills. Speed kills. Just bouncing it to the outside. Just outran the pursuit.
And Savage over 200 yards rushing for the game. That's his first touchdown of the afternoon. His 3rd of the season. And pushes it up to a 44-7 Oklahoma State lead. The kick up for the point after is good. And it is 45-7 Oklahoma State with 5:25 left to go here in Lincoln. Good day to be a Cowboys. Dantrell Savage has 212 yards rushing and now a touchdown. Cowboys 45, Huskers 7. (45-7) as we welcome you back to Lincoln. Cowboys get their first points of the second half. A 30-yard bolt by Dantrell Savage puts him over the 200-yard rushing mark. And a look at the Big 12 North standings coming into the game today. Colorado 2-0. They beat Oklahoma and then won at Baylor. They'll play K-State tonight. Kellen's Missouri Tigers in Norman in a couple of hours. Nebraska and K-State tied in a game of peace. And OSU 0-2 in Iowa State, and they are losing to Texas today up in Ames. As the Cowboys have stretched their lead back to 38 points with that score by Savage.
There's a team having an off year, Texas Longhorns, playing a lot of young players. May not win it all this year, but next year they're going to be tough.
Kickoff by Ricks. Taken by Andre Jones. Jones has a seam. Trying to get to the outside. Nice stiff arm. Knocked that about to the 28. Yeah, life was pretty good in Austin when Superman played for him, Vince Young, who is so terrific. It's been a little harder once he headed off to the NFL.
Yeah, it's a good back. You got the super player at quarterback who can do all kinds of things. It was just a joy to watch. And then you surround him with some great talent, and he makes everybody better. And that's where leadership comes into play. That's why the Titans were so happy to have him and doing the things that he's doing there. But hey, Mac Brown is one of my favorite coaches to be around. He knows the game of football. He loves his players. They love him, and he's just a great man and a great coach.
Halu picking his way for a couple of yards on first down. Tackle made by Quentin Moore. As the Cowboys Pistols happy today. Coming up here. First, this is going to be Oklahoma State's first win in Lincoln in 47 years. And this one hits the final gun. Kalu again picking forward, has a first down across the 40. Patrick Levine makes the stop for Oklahoma State.
That's a long time. 47 years. Wow.
1960, last time they came to Lincoln for a victory. And a disappointing homecoming for the Cornhuskers. There it is, the last win here, November 12th, 1960, 7-6. Kalu gets a couple. Donovan Woods jumps on his back, brings him down.
Umpire went down on that play. One of the Oklahoma State players showing sportsmanship and helping him up. It's rough being an official out there. You know, you got to look at the play and make the call and
avoid traffic.
Avoid traffic, stay out of the way. And
Kellen, you couldn't pay me not to be the umpire. No. That's the worst job, right in the middle of that field, all those big bodies around you.
Oh yeah, he's going to be sore tonight.
Oh. And you're right, you're dodging some of those crossing routes, you're dodging linebackers, you're in safeties, you're coming up making plays. 2nd and 9 for the Cornhuskers at their own 44. Halo again, not much. It'll be 3rd down for Nebraska. As we approach the 3-minute mark of this game, a very disappointing game. There'll be a lot of soul searching in Lincoln this week for Bill Callahan and his staff. Not able to right the ship after last week's loss in Columbia, and A&M coming here next week.
But what is on that card? When you're running the same plays, what is on that card?
Timeout, Nebraska.
And Nebraska will call a timeout. Set up something here with a 3rd and 8, staring at the Nebraska offense. 3:06 left to go in this game.
You know, it's like when I was in school, and a teacher would ask a question I didn't know the answer to. What do? You look at the ceiling. It's not up there. The answer is not up there. And Coach Callahan's looking at that card like the answer is on that card.
Yeah, a lot of Husker fans wondering about where the answers to this football team that in the last 2 weeks have been roughed up pretty good by both Missouri and now Oklahoma State. They'll fall to 4-3 after today's game and 1-2 in league play. Still a lot of football to play. A lot of games left in this season. I think there were some things in the second half they can build on. They had a couple of nice offensive drives. The defense, I think, had more fire and won the line of scrimmage for a good portion of that second half.
And that's one thing the coaches finish that thought after this play.
Keller back on 3rd and 8. Throws it out in the flat. And it is caught for a first down. Nice scoop and grab on that far side by Terrence Nunn, who gets up slow.
That's one of the things the coaches, when they look at this film and they grade the performance of each player by position, they're going to be looking at how did they handle the situation. Did they give more effort? Did they give less effort? Who continued to fight when the game was still out of hand? Who are the real players that we're going to reward with more playing time in future weeks to come?
Here's Castilla. I think he's going to get more playing time with his effort here today. Justin Grant makes the tackle for OSU.
And you asked a question earlier about Bobby Reed, the quarterback for Oklahoma State. You know, going back to Mac Brown. Mac Brown once told me that, you know, players earn the right to play. They work hard in practice, do things we ask them to do, and they give us effort. I've got to find time for that young man on the field. So that might be what Mike Gundy's going through with Reed. Has he earned the right to play?
2nd and short for the Huskers. Keller back. Hit, dropped. Sack on the day for Oklahoma State. Will set up 3rd and long for the Huskers inside of 2 minutes left.
Nothing in the middle of the field. Play action, he looks to the left or he looks to the right. Nothing down the middle of the field. You see the defenders, all they do is flow to the outside based on where the quarterback is going. because the odds of him working left and coming all the way back to the right are very, very slim, almost non-existent.
3rd and 10 for Nebraska. Minute and a half left in this one. Keller in the shotgun. Steps up to avoid the rush, throws it down the field. Pass caught by Tom Peterson to the 10, to the 5, pulled down inside the 5 and around the 1. As Peterson gets free, Clint Coe. Strong safety makes a tackle, but Nebraska with a chance to punch in some late points.
Down the field, down the middle of the field. There's opportunity down the middle of the field. Just a crossing route, a deep crossing route comes from one side to the other. Keller did a great job of moving in the pocket to avoid the rush here by number 53, slid up. The downside is he locked onto the receiver, didn't look any place else.
Castillo off the right side, lowers his head, stops short, ball pops out. Recovered by Nebraska. It was recovered by Thomas Lawson, the fullback, to save the possession for Nebraska. It'll be 2nd and goal with the ball inside the 1.
That would have been insult to injury if Oklahoma State had recovered that ball. Has a chance to get the ball down there. Almost. Good play by the defensive back number 7 and knocked the ball out of Castillo's hand.
Martel Van Zant pokes it away here from Castillo.
Yep.
And a timeout taken by Nebraska here to try to punch one in here with 49 seconds left.
Nebraska. This will be a 30-second timeout.
The freshman Castillo is going to be a great running back to watch once he learns and sees the cutback.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's just, he just has to do it.
He has to do it.
Play it and do it.
Yeah, coming out of high school, he's the biggest thing out there. He doesn't have to cut back because he can just run to the outside and outrun people. But once he learns that cutback and they really instill in him, look for the cutback, he's going to be a thing of beauty to watch. I remember when my son was at University of Miami. Willis McGahee was a running back the year he had the 22 or 2,300 yards rushing. When he learned the cutback, he was just like, oh wow, an epiphany. I can make this cutback, and his yardage was way up.
You saw the Big 12 scores. Texas up big. KU and Baylor still fighting the elements in Lawrence. They're still in the first quarter of that game. Supposed to start the same time this one was. Here's Castillo. Does not get in. He's short. It'll be 3rd and goal. Patrick Levine makes the stop, and Nebraska will call another timeout.
Penetration up front, getting down there. Fullback come up and hesitate to look for somebody to hit versus just leading up the hole and taking the tailback right behind him. But they just stuffed that entire right side. Just stuffed it.
Final timeout. It is a 30-second timeout.
Now we'll probably see.
Please put 44 seconds on the clock.
We'll probably see the play action, the back going over the top, the quarterback rolling to the outside, hopefully to the wide side of the field.
44 seconds on
to give
the
him
clock.
a chance to throw the ball inside for the touchdown and to run it in himself.
And
so,
you know the Cowboys want to stop him here.
Exactly.
Their pride's like, we don't want any more points.
It's a point of pride for them.
Sure. So it'll be 3rd and goal. Ball, as you can see, is just inside the 1, and there's Tim Beckman trying to urge his troops on a little bit. First-year defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. There you can see the ball just inside the 1. Steal the deep back. Play action. Flips it out in the flat. Lawson makes a catch. Did he hang on? He does. Touchdown, Nebraska. Thomas Lawson, the fullback, with the grab. His 3rd touchdown catch of the year, and some more points on the board for Nebraska.
That stellar, famous position, like the tailback at USC, is the fullback at Nebraska, place of honor. And you get a lot of touchdowns and you get a lot of passes for touchdowns when you're the fullback at Nebraska because everybody's so focused on that eye back.
Alex Henry to try to add the point after, and flags come out. We may have an illegal substitution here.
Illegal substitution on the defense. Half the distance. We'll replay the try.
Both teams have had that problem today.
You talk about coachable moments. Oklahoma State, yes, we're winning the ball game 45-14. It's a great victory for us. When you go back in, everybody's excited about the win. you as a coach have to look for things that you want to point out to get you better. Just can't say we did everything great, we had a good time, we won the ball game, and leave it alone. Substitutions like that, those types of things where you want to tighten things up, so when you're in a close game, you know how to do what to do and how to react.
45-14. Keller with his second touchdown pass of the game here to Nebraska, their last score of the night.
Again, play action, suck everybody in. Big hit, big hit. Lawson does a great job of holding on to the ball.
Yeah, Andre Sexton lowered the boom, but Lawson grabs it, hangs on, lost the helmet, kept the ball. Gets the touchdown.
Sometimes you get hit so hard, you grab onto the ball out of a fear reaction.
(45-14) our score. Mike Gundy about to collect his second Big 12 road win in his third season in Stillwater. He won at Kansas last year. And this one will be a nice flight back to Stillwater for the Cowboys. With this victory here today over Nebraska to go to 2-1, and then they get the next 3 at home. Kansas State, Kansas, and Texas all to visit Boone Pickens Stadium here in the coming weeks.
That place is going to be rocking next week. It's going to be alive with energy and people thinking this team is for real and a chance to do something big in 2007.
OSU anticipating an onside kick, but Nebraska will go ahead and kick it away. Pulled in by Parrish Cox, and he'll go to a knee at the 13. Well, 38-0 was our halftime score. Just one score in the second half for the Cowboys. The Huskers get a couple of touchdowns in the second half, and it will be an interesting week in Lincoln as they'll be doing some soul searching with the players and the coaching staff, try to figure out how to correct all the mistakes that have been made today and get ready for A&M next Saturday. And Bobby Reed will come out and get a snap to go to a knee. What could be the last play of the game. But what a win for Oklahoma State. Terrific comeback for them, Kellen, after a very disappointing finish to their game last week where they really felt like they had a great chance to steal one at A&M. They bounced right back up from that one and come and win on the road here today in Lincoln.
Well, you got to give Mike Gundy and his staff credit for preparing this team to come in here and play the way they did today after what happened last week. Sometimes coaches are demoralized by a loss of that type. They don't know how to handle it. Apparently Mike Gundy, his team, and his staff found the key to get this team to play up to the level that they can play. Nebraska on the other side, too many mistakes early, and it all started on the opening kickoff when the fumble, although it was recovered by Nebraska, it just set a bad tone for the entire game.
Mike Gundy gets the Gatorade bath after winning this one 45-14. Players converse, shakes some hands. That young man played well today. Zac Robinson engineering this OSU attack. And you can see the players mingling down below. And OSU goes to 4-3 with a win, 2-1 in league play. And again, I think they got to feel good. Momentum heading back home. Nebraska's certainly going to have to try to figure out what's been going wrong with their program.
And you want to peak at the right time, and Oklahoma State's peaking at the right time with that 3-game home stint coming up. And when you get your fans behind you at home, it's amazing how the energy is and the things that you can do that, you may not get a chance to do while you're on the road. Nebraska, on the other hand, a lot of soul searching, a lot of answers have to be found in a short period of time about what can we do to get this program, this team back on track so we become, as we thought beginning of the year, a legitimate contender in the Big 12.
Yeah. So a convincing Cowboy victory here today, 45-14. They led 38-0 at the half. They really took the suspense out of this one. Led 17-0 in the first quarter. And I really like their balance. They were really balanced all day, and their game plan offensively was very good.
Well organized, well thought out offense. Took advantage of it. I'm a big fan of consistency, showing the defense the same thing and giving them different variations off of that piece of it. And that's what they did today.
Joe Goldberg standing by with the victorious head coach.
and he's sticky as well. Just got the Gatorade bath. Congratulations. How huge, how significant for your program?
Well, it's really a good win for us. We talked to the team that they had an opportunity to do something special. Early in the week, we had discussed that we had an opportunity to win last week, and that we felt like that we gave it away, and that they would be in this situation again, and to finish. You know, it's not the coaches, it's the players finishing.
What about for you, being around this program so long,
No media around here.
and also being a player back in the day? You played in big games, you've coached in big games. How big is this one for you personally?
Well, they're all the same. You know, a win's a win, and we say that every week, that you know, you have to play good and prepare each week.
Final thing, your defense. I know they didn't want to give up that last touchdown, but to hold Nebraska the way they did, how proud are you of them?
Well, I'm very proud. They hit extremely hard, and they had their mindset that they could come up here and win this football game, so I'm really proud of them.
Congratulations, and enjoy the trip back to Stillwater.
Thank you.
All right, a victorious coach, Mike Gundy, guys.
All right, thank you, Joel. Oklahoma State now 4-3, 2-1 in league play. Nebraska falls to 4-3. They're 1-2 in conference action, and next week Nebraska will entertain A&M. OSU back home to take on K-State. My thanks to analyst Kellen Winslow. Always great to work with a Hall of Famer, and Joe Goldberg down below. Mark Holsey, our producer, director Tom Williamson, and for our entire Fox broadcast crew, I'm Greg Sharp saying good afternoon from Lincoln. Again, our final score, Oklahoma State 45, Nebraska 14.